This is Monty in the Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is the Monty Show. Hi, Jake.
Hello.
How you doing, little buddy?
Oh, we're just dandy today.
Okay. You feeling okay over there?
I'm okay. Thank you.
Jake's feeling a little under the weather today, so we were battling about the fact that he chews his cough drops.
Let me get another cough drop.
Because you chew them.
Here we go. I don't chew them.
Oh,
dude.
my God. Okay, so
Jesus.
you put a new cough drop in what? Once every 5-10 minutes?
No.
And it's like, I don't chew them. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. Because they should last you like 45 minutes.
We're really going to start the show this way. How
Yes.
long does this last? Does it say on the back how long it lasts?
No, it doesn't. Welcome to the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates. UtahAdvocates.com. There is a battle raging about who should start at point guard for your Utah Jazz, and I'm telling you, there's nothing to talk about. There is absolutely nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, who should start at point guard for the Jazz, Jake?
Collin Sexton.
No, he should not. See,
Stop. Don't come out here and start the show. See, we could have had a great show. Like, you could have come out and you could have said, yeah, you know what? This is a young team. We need Collin Sexton to start. Like you could have come out and said that. But now you're going to sit here and try and convince me that Mike Conley should start or Jordan Clarkson should start. Now, Jordan Clarkson, I can get down with that. Okay, Jordan Clarkson, you need an all-star. He can be that guy. Okay, I got you. Mike Conley? No. Mike Conley shouldn't be here.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's not close.
Mm-hmm.
It's Colin. I mean, I should stop. In all seriousness, Mike Conley should be starting for the Utah Jazz. I mean, this isn't even a conversation. He's the better point guard. He is playing good basketball. Why would you start Collin Sexton here?
Because you're not trying to win a championship right now. That's why. You're not trying to, win every single game that you play. Maybe Will Hardy and the boys are, sure. But as an organization in the big picture, you're not trying to win every single game that you're playing. You're trying to have probably a 400 season or so, just a little bit short of 500 basketball. That's what I think you're trying to do. But I think that, this team is right now trying to win every game they can, and so they're playing Mike Conley. They're playing, all their mainstays. So I don't know. I think it's a philosophical thing. I understand why Jordan Clarkson starts and plays, but to me, Mike Conley, costs you $20+ million a year. Mike Conley's advanced in age. He is still interested. He's still of interest to, contending teams. So, to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense why he's here and why he's taking minutes from Collin Sexton when Collin's clearly the future at this point.
Yeah, I think because Mike Conley's the best point guard on the roster. And I think he helps make the younger guys better. And I think when you look at what Mike Conley brings to the yard, I just don't think there's much of a conversation to be had. Collin Sexton's not your best two guard. That's Jordan Clarkson. He's not your best point guard. That's Mike Conley. I don't think that Collin Sexton should be starting. I think you play your 5 best guys and you do what you have to do to win basketball games. And to me, and in my opinion, that's Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson starting at the guards. And I think that absolutely Collin Sexton has a role on this team. I think absolutely he's a guy that can help you win games. And I think he can be your scorer off the bench. But you are not starting Collin Sexton. And this whole notion of tanking, not tanking, let's stop talking about tanking because they're clearly not tanking at this moment in time.
Right.
Could that change over the course of the season? Sure, it could. But I think you're going to have an awfully difficult time convincing me that Mike Conley is not your best option at the point.
Yeah, and this is where I think it's kind of a philosophical conversation because I don't really think we're having a conversation about who the best guy at point guard is. At least I'm not. That's not where I'm heading with the conversation. Like, for me, it's more like, okay, who right now on a team that has no expectations, and I agree they're not tanking, but on a team that is not, NBA Finals, aspiring, why would you take minutes away from the guys you're trying to develop? Why would you do that? Now, Collin, you do have to say hey, he did have the knee injury. Okay, he's going through that comeback process even still, because most guys take anywhere from 4 to 6 months of game action to really be back in it 100% where they trust everything. So if the reason is, hey, he's still kind of coming back, he's still going through that rehab process in a sense, then I can understand that. But I guess for me, I think there's this middle ground where you don't have to be tanking to play someone like Collin Sexton, who clearly has talent and clearly has upside, but also very much clearly needs development. And so it's like, there's one or two ways you could go about that. And that's why I feel like it's philosophical. You could run Mike Conley out there, which is what they're doing, and you could bring dude off the bench, Collin Sexton. I could also see a scenario where Collin Sexton, comes in off the bench and relieves Jordan Clarkson and plays next to Mike Conley to get some of those developmental minutes. And I could also see a scenario where, hey, yeah, we traded Mike at the deadline to a contending team like all the teams you know and love, the Lakers, the Celtics, Dallas. We moved Mike Conley so to kind of pave the way for Collin to start playing, 35 minutes a night, And yeah, are there going to be turnovers? Are there going to be mistakes? Are there going to be bad basketball? Yeah, some of the time. But isn't that partially where you're at as an organization? You're not tanking, but you're also not trying to win a championship.
I maybe philosophical is the right way to put it, because I don't see it that way. I think you are trying to win every game you can win. And if you're Will Hardy, I think like getting Simone Fontecchio in the game last night for his first real run of the season, and I think you saw some nice things out of him, but it came at the expense of Walker Kessler, who I didn't think really had a place in this game, because stylistically I just feel like it didn't work for who he is as a player right now. So I really don't have a problem not playing Kessler last night. But that, I think, is what Will Hardy's doing. I don't think Will Hardy's like, well, I got to find a way to screw Danny Ainge and his tanking tactics. Y'all
want to play.
Yeah, that's clearly not what's going on. I don't even think this is much of a conversation, in my opinion.
Right.
I think Mike Conley is the superior point guard right now.
Would you move him at the deadline, though? Is he someone that you're active, like if you were Danny, you'd be looking to move?
I mean, it just depends on what I could get for him. But I mean,
yeah.
At this point, you're into him for $21 million this year.
Yeah, you're definitely invested.
I mean, if you're a playoff team, trading Mike Conley doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think they would like to make the playoffs. I continue to be told, and I continue to hear that there is no conversation in that organization top to bottom about tanking.
Yeah.
They are trying to develop their players and win as many games as they can. I don't think, and again, I am just kind of connecting dots on what I've been told, but I don't think that they're all in on VW. I don't think the Jazz are trying to hit Victor Wembanyama. I think that Danny Ainge wants to win much sooner than that.
Yeah.
And I just don't see – I don't know. This is a great debate about lineups. I understand why, like, there's conversations about rotations and who should be where and who should be starting, and I'm all down for that. But there's nothing to talk about at the point. There just isn't. I mean, I look at Collin Sexton and what he brings, and I just don't think he makes guys on the team better. I think when you're starting with that core veteran group, I don't think that Collin Sexton makes that group better.
No.
I think Collin Sexton is your guy off the bench, especially with JC starting at the 2. You need a guy that can come in and give you production off the bench, and I think that's Collin Sexton.
Yeah, I mean, I think he fills that role perfectly, and I don't even disagree with you that he doesn't make guys around him better, and I also think that he's very rough around the edges as far as his game is concerned. Like, again, like it needs to be said, there's a lot of development that needs to happen with Collin Sexton. Like, last night he has, he's clearly working on, the patented Steph Curry, James Harden step back move a little bit, and he's not nearly as good at it as some of those guys or some other guys in the league. But when I watch him play, you can tell that he is working on his game. You can tell that there is an effort to become a more polished player. So that's why I say, if your goal is to try to make the play-in and be, or even make the playoffs, like just skip the play-in altogether, then yeah, he's going to come off the bench all year. I guess my thing just is, without being in the organization and obviously not knowing, 100% or definitively, I just feel like if I was Danny Ainge in that front office, I would be saying, hey, we are trying to win games, but Collin needs to be playing, 20, 25 minutes a night. Like, Collin needs to be playing good, like not heavy, but like good quality workload for an NBA player. He doesn't need to play 35, 40 minutes a night. That's not who he is. But, 25, anything under 30, I feel like is really good for Collin Sexton. So should he start? On some teams, yes, he would start. I guess on this team right now, with how they're going about it, he's not going to start. And we were talking about this on the way home yesterday. I'll be really curious to see where this team is at after 10 games. If you're over 500 after 10 games, Collin needs to continue to come off the bench. If you're a sub 500 team after 10 games, then I think you can play with the lineup a little bit, But if it's working, don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah, and I don't think it's broken at all. And frankly, I just don't see the need to tinker with it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. All right, let's get your thoughts in here. Who you guys think should be starting? Let's see. First one in, Mike Chase. Good morning to you. Neville93 says, morning. I'm driving to Vernal for a job. You guys have a great day. You too, Neville. Hope you're well.
You too, buddy.
BB says the Jazz should clearly start the young guys. I mean, there's no point to be starting old guys that basically don't help you long term. Well,
but see, this just goes right back into, and I think BB was the one that, with all due respect, as the saying goes on the show, BB's the one that feels like they should tank and just like go Oklahoma City level tanking, and I just don't think that that's where they're at right now.
Yeah, I think there is still a sect of Jazz fan that is not happy that this team is 3-1. I mean, obviously, you saw they lost last night. I don't know how much of the game you followed, but you look at, you look at some of the numbers on who played. Like, I don't know how you're not happy that Fontecchio got heavy minutes. I mean, or his heaviest minutes yet, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thrilled to see it.
Yeah, I mean, he got a good share of minutes, and he made his shots when he came in, and they kind of kept him in it.
Yeah, 16 minutes, 3 of 5 from 3, 13 points. Like, I thought he played really well. I thought this was obviously, I think the Jazz ran out of gas last night. This was not oh, man, we're 3-0, we got to find a way to lose a game.
Yeah.
It's not what this was. And I actually thought that, Malik Beasley played some interesting minutes as well. I thought he finally shot the ball well, 2 of 4 from 3. I mean, they got a lot of good contributions. They just ran out of gas.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we kind of talked about yesterday on the show, that Houston is a really energetic team, and they're a team that is going to run on you. They're a team that is going to get up and down. They're a team that's going to move the ball a lot, and you better be ready. And so it's no surprise that you lose this game by – what is that, 6 points, 114-108? It's not a surprise to me. And I think that, there are definitely some nice wins. And it's really interesting, this tanking versus sort of like finding the middle ground on, losing enough games or, not winning enough games, but also being competitive in every game you play. And I think if you're Will Hardy, the only thing you're concerned with is winning as many games as you can.
Bro, I just adjusted the laying on the table.
Oh, you got the cramp going on?
I got the trap burner happening. That's the worst. That is the worst. But what's worse, having a cramp in your shoulder, your table's like wavering.
Oh, it's brutal when the table wobbles. It's terrible.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I actually like the rotations that Will Hardy's running out. I think he's done a really nice job, and I'm really pleasantly surprised by how good of a coach he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he did a really nice job limiting Vanderbilt's exposure last night.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want him to, I think he didn't want him to pick up that 5th foul and get into Ben Simmons territory. Anybody? Ben Simmons territory? Okay, yeah, so...
Okay.
Did you guys see, though, Jabari Smith and Jalen Green getting into an argument on the bench last night for Houston? I thought that was... that's the kind of team I think you're trying to avoid becoming.
Yeah, I think that team has a lot of young guys on it who think they're really good, and they are really good. They have length, they have athleticism, They have what you want. So, I mean, it's going to happen.
Yep. Hullabilly says this was the second game of a back-to-back. I wasn't expecting a win, but the guys still fought. Love this team, and I'm excited to see how the season plays out. Well, too bad you can't say the same thing about the Wild. Gage Carter says, morning, guys. Jazz played good. Tough loss on the second night on a back-to-back, but the Bears win.
Hey.
Justin Fields sucks, but the Bears won.
Yep.
That is what it is. Matt Eberflus, your mom.
Matt Eberflus.
Why would you draft a quarterback and then hire a defensive coach?
Don't get it.
BB says, I mean, the only way to guys develop in a system is to actually play in that system. Yeah, and I think but see, I don't know what you want the Jazz to do. What is it, BB? Anybody that's a fan of the tanking thing here, what different do you want the Jazz to do? Are you saying start like Fontecchio and Kessler every night? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. So you're just going to pay. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Good morning, Kurt Myers. Jesse Harsh says, morning, boys. My 9-year-old nephew turned to me on Saturday while BYU was being taken to Pound Town and asked if he could cheer for a different team. I said, no. Welcome to the rest of my life. There you go. It's the Jake I told you so show.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Did you
feel
tell
like I
everybody?
rolled that out.
Kenai Johnson says, top of the morning, fellas. Now let's see how the Jazz bounce back. Yeah, they have Houston tomorrow night at the Viv.
The Viv.
The Viv. I thought this was a great start.
Yeah.
And you know what? They battled. I think the one thing that you have to take away from yesterday is this team never quits. You know, you got to feel good about what they're doing. You got to feel good about, you know, how hard they've played for Will Hardy. And I think it's a tip of the cap to Will that this team came out last night with a very high level of compete. And I think if you're Will Hardy, you have to be thrilled with what you've seen because they never quit and they never stopped playing hard. And I thought that was a really huge thing for this team.
Yeah, and I agree with the people who are saying the contrast from this year's team to last year's team is stark. I think that work hard, you know, be relentless mentality was talked about last year, but never really implemented. And this team just does it every night so far. So I hope to continue to see that. Yeah,
we'll see. Kenny. Good morning, Kenny. Lakers Jazz trade is a no-brainer to me at this point. Russ plus 2 firsts for Conley, Beasley, and Gay. I mean, why would you do that if you're the Jazz? You can't do that now. I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know why you would want to bring in a $47 million contract. You know, like I just...
When you're competitive in every game you're going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, you just beat one of the best teams in the West. I mean, you were on a back-to-back. You lost to Houston, but I mean, you've beaten 2 of the best teams in the West.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go 3-1 in every 4-game stretch, you're obviously going to have a great season. They're not going to do that, but you get what I'm saying. So that's why, to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do that trade and pick up Russ's option or pick up his money rather, because you're fine. Your money's in a good spot. You have plenty of picks. You're competitive. Like, just play through the season now.
Yeah, interesting question on it. Jesse Harsh, he says, the Jazz beat the Nuggets who beat the Warriors, ergo, we're NBA champions. I mean, if that's what you got to do to get through the day, my friend, yeah, go ahead and buy yourself a ring. That's fine. Tom Basilius says, morning, fellas.
What's up, dude?
Morning, bruh. Mike should start, Holabilly says, no question. Totally agree with that. Totally agree. Ken Williams gives us a $5 super sticker. Appreciate you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. BTS Dance Studio says tank.
Nah.
BTS Dance Studio again says tank. And then BTS Dance Studio for a third time says tank. And then like a fourth, a fifth. And then he says Danny is no idiot. And then he just keeps saying tank, tank, tank.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Eric and Raleigh says, but Conley out.
Buy Conley out.
Buy Conley out. Oh, it's a reading thing.
Yeah, you know.
Why would you see? Like, what sense does any of that make? Buying Mike Conley out.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if you're a basketball fan, like specifically if you're a Jazz fan, you just have to be patient here. Like, let these guys play a little bit together. Let these guys sort of build the chemistry and the culture, and like let them just do what they do, because ultimately, you know, it's gonna go one way or the other. Like, you're gonna make the playoffs and shock the world and be this sweetheart team and then get eliminated, or you're not gonna make the playoffs at all and you're gonna continue to work on the roster. That to me is what you're looking at.
Yeah, I just don't. It makes no sense for this team to tank. It really makes zero sense for this team to tank at all. Steve Barnhart says, "Good morning from Florida, everyone." Steve, hope you're well down there. Saw some interesting post-hurricane business opportunities popping up in Florida. Mm-hmm. We should talk about that at some point. Travis Bird says Clarkson for Ben Simmons, 2 picks and a thong-wearing hottie. Okay, that's fine. Kenny says, I think either way we should be resting Conley on back-to-backs.
Agreed.
You do think
100%.
so?
Yeah, why are we so committed to playing Mike Conley constantly? Like, why would you not just try to keep him healthy?
Because you're committed to winning games. I think that's what is so, I guess, hard for some people to grasp. The Jazz are not tanking. They're not trying to lose games. The Utah Jazz are committed to winning games. So you're not resting Mike Conley on back-to-backs in the 4th game of the year.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't like. I shouldn't say I don't like. I just don't love the messaging of we're committed to winning games this year. No, what you're committed to doing is getting through this year and making sure that Mike is healthy so that he's an option to trade at the deadline. That's what I think you're committed to, honestly. But
I could see that.
I think that winning this year just doesn't matter a whole lot. But I think, to your point, there's a difference between winning not mattering as much and tanking. And I'm just telling you, they're not tanking.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what winds up going on. I mean, I just what I find so fascinating, and again, this is just me, is the fans that want the Jazz to tank. Why do you want the Jazz to tank? I mean, even if they were to tank and lose every game, their chances of getting Victor Wembanyama are slim and none.
Yeah.
So what are you tanking for? Are you tanking for a top 5 pick, a top 10 pick? It doesn't add up, especially with the roster of guys. I don't think anybody saw Lauri Markkanen being this impactful. I don't think anybody saw, that this team could come together, gel this quickly, and be this good defensively.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that. I mean, I think the biggest thing that they do is they play good defense. So I just don't know. I don't know why you're so, excited for them to tank. And the other thing I think people forget about is, let's say that you do wind up with Victor Wembanyama. Yeah. Let's say that happens, right? If you get VW, what happens to your franchise? Do you start winning championships?
That's what everyone thinks.
That's not what happens. What happens is you lose for 5 years. That's what happens. When you draft a guy like Victor, who's a huge project in this league, I got news for you. You don't win, and you don't win quickly. You don't. When you have the number 1 pick, how many times has the number 1 pick gone on to lead his team to the playoffs?
Yeah, not a lot.
I mean, the percentages are highly, highly against you.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to find a way to come around to the idea that drafting Victor Wembanyama is probably not the quickest way to win a championship. And if, for my mind, and I'm a Bulls fan, trust me, I know about losing in the NBA.
Yeah.
In my mind, you can't draft guys to win championships. You have to build the entirety of a team and a roster, and that's not Victor Wembanyama.
Agreed.
It's not. It just
100%.
It is what it is. James Knight says, I feel a water is wet comment coming. Nah, that's good. Ken Williams says, I like this team. You need Mike to run the team and get them in the right sets. Vando is a monster. I think Jared Vanderbilt is one of the better stories early in the season. I think his want to defensively has been nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, I think he works hard. I think that, they understand the situation they're in. Obviously, they're not dumb. They understand that they got to work hard and really, beat the other team to the spots. And I think that ultimately is what's giving them success early on. They're just working their ass off. And I think that's why you saw they retired last night. So Jared Vanderbilt obviously is one of those guys that leads the charge on that.
Yep. The Monty Show presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. If you've been in a wreck, if you got hurt at work, yes, they do workman's comp. I've been asked that a couple of times. Yep. Yes, the Advocates do workman's comp. Make sure you check it out, UtahAdvocates.com. Whether it's DUI, distracted driving, no matter what it is, you didn't deserve to be in an accident. What you deserve is somebody to fight for you so that you can get back to the best version of yourself as quickly as possible. And please do not trust your insurance agency, trust your insurance company because they've got hundreds of lawyers. Why don't you have an advocate? Why don't you have somebody that fights for you? Get yourself the representation you need to thrive once more. Find them right now at utahadvocates.com. There are never any retainers or big consultation fees. In fact, you don't pay the advocates until they win your case at utahadvocates.com. Talking Utah Jazz as they lose in Houston last night to fall to 3-1. They host the Rockets at the Viv tomorrow night at 7. And I think this Jazz team's in a very good spot. I'm a little surprised night in and night out how much negativity there is around this basketball team because I actually feel like they're doing a great job. I feel like they're in a really good spot. I mean, I look around the NBA. There's no reason this team can't be a 7, 8, 9, 10 team. No reason at all. I think in the West it's going to be very difficult for them to, play their way into a solid playoff spot. Yeah. There's no reason they can't be a play-in team.
Yeah, and I think when you work that hard, it's just a matter of it being consistent. I mean, if they do that every night for the, if they're doing that almost every game, they're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Holabilly says fans who want the Jazz to tank are casuals and don't know basketball.
Well,
that's not wrong. Travis Bird says, you draft Victor. He's the sixth man playing 25 minutes. You use the rest of the draft picks to draft the guys, and you make a playoff in 2024. If you draft Victor Wembanyama, you're not going to the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
You're just not. It's going to be a long road to hoe. You draft him, I think it's going to be a very long road. Very casual. Very, very long road. James Knight says the Bulls are back, Monty. No, they're not.
Unfortunately, they're not.
They're not. And Zach played last night. Zach LaVine played last night. And, hey, man, I get it. And that's a good basketball team, but they're not back. We are a flawed-ass team in Chicago. And that this is also interesting for the Jazz, too. Because think about this. Look at the Chicago Bulls. You're paying a guy a supermax in Zach LaVine, and you've got all this money out, and you're not a championship contender.
Nope.
They are not one of the 5 best teams even in the NBA right now. And again, DeMar DeRozan is a stud.
Yeah.
I mean, playing well, being productive, and they're
doing
not
everything you want.
They're not a championship caliber team, and that Zach LaVine contract, he will miss, in my opinion, significant time to knee injuries. And he is probably going to wind up having it's
not ideal. I mean, obviously, Zach has always been a guy that's struggled with the injury bug.
I don't even want to say it out loud, man. Yeah. I don't. Monty, your Utah Enoch. I don't know what that means, but we need to tank for Victor. Okay. I disagree. I don't think you do. That's just me. C. Good morning, C. Okay. Holabilly, you can't win in the NBA without star, and the Jazz don't have one, and the picks we are getting won't produce one. We have to tank and not get caught up in the moment. I think you make trades to get your superstar.
Yeah, I think you're undervaluing Danny Ainge's ability.
Yeah, I would agree that signing a prolific free agent is always tough. Aaron Judge is not coming to the Jazz as the most preeminent free agent in all of sports.
What I just said.
Nothing? Okay.
Nothing.
Anyway, the point is, you're right. The best free agents probably are not signing in Utah.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge can go and make trades. And Danny Ainge, I agree. I think you forget what Danny Ainge has already done since he's been here. Now, again, I'll just ask why they traded Don. I have no idea. But you can go and get a guy in trade. There's no doubt about that. In my mind, anyway.
Yeah,
I think that's their plan.
You can always go and get a big name in trade, and I think that's the whole point. Like, it doesn't make sense to me to tank for like a 5% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. That's never been, to me, like what, stirs the drink in Utah. I think what stirs the drink is this concept of let's win as many as we can, let's use these picks to make trades, and let's improve the roster. Like that to me is as straightforward as it gets.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, Eric and Raleigh, who says the worst thing the Jazz could do is get into the play-in tournament. I mean, if you're in the tournament by 1 game, you probably want it to be out of the tournament.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that at all. But I feel like they're not. I'm tired of the tanking conversation now.
Yeah, it gets
I'm
old.
burned out on it. Like I don't know what else you need to see from the Utah Jazz to know they're not tanking. I mean, I don't know that it's even arguable.
I think whether it's the Conley versus Sexton conversation, whether it's the Fontecchio conversation, like
Fontecchio,
Fontecchio.
Today, by the way, is World Pasta Day.
Damn right, let's get it. I think that it's just very clear what they're trying to do, and I think that I don't know how the messaging was so different for a lot of fans who are like, yeah, they're tanking, but they're not behaving like they're tanking. They're not, nothing that they're actually doing suggests that they're tanking.
Well, I would even go back to the trades they've made. They don't suggest they're tanking. I mean, you don't trade for Lauri Markkanen, Malik Beasley. Like, you could have traded those guys. You traded Pat Bev, right? You don't trade for those guys and, call it tanking. You don't trade for a guy like Collin Sexton and sign him to an extension and then say you're tanking. Like,
yeah.
They're not. By the way, did you buy into what Adam Silver said about tanking? He said that the systems they've put in place are preventing teams from tanking.
On a certain level, I think that it's improved the tanking situation in the league. I would agree with that, but I think you still get your Orlandos and your OKCs and your bad teams that are going to lose a bunch of games and do it intentionally and try to get the draft pick. Like that to me we see that all the time. That's not anything new.
Yeah, Adam Silver, the commissioner in the NBA, and it was on ESPN.
The 4-letter.
He basically said, well, we're putting in a midseason tournament and all the things that don't have any impact on tanking when you have a guy like Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson and people will tank for those. And I look at Houston, I don't think Houston's tanking anymore. I just think they're not very good at developing players.
Yeah.
So I look at OKC. Maybe OKC has, maybe they're the ones that end up with VW and they put him next to Chaboy.
Chaboy.
I don't know what that means. I mean, Chet and VW next to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not to be an asshole, but I think it's injury central.
Well, and good luck telling them apart. Like, I mean, 2 7-foot-plus guys that weigh combined 200 pounds.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's not a smart investment. I think that, and that's my biggest problem with the Jazz going after VW. I don't think that VW ensures you a championship.
No.
Again, like just the same way that Rudy Gobert, while he maybe have more muscle on his frame, a little bit thicker of a player, like, these guys who are skill position guys at like 7'4" and 7 foot, and like they are not going to be able to handle the beating that the NBA is initially. And we saw this, and we see it almost every year that young guys who are taken high in the draft typically can't handle it. Now, guys like Paolo Banchero, that's a different example. That guy's ready to go. But
yeah. He went to Duke as Duke.
Yeah, Duke is Duke.
Right? I mean, he's got a ton of experience there. It's just I don't know, man. I just hate this conversation. I don't disagree with what Eric said. Being in the play-in tournament is probably not ideal. But you're not trying to lose games. I don't buy that. C says, but why would you want to be in the play-in? That's just a ticket to mediocrity. There's no one on this team that can lead them to being elite. I just disagree with that. I think Walker Kessler, I think Fontecchio, what you saw last night, I think Collin Sexton, I think there's a bunch of guys here on this roster that can take you to the next iteration of, or whatever that is, that'll be on this team. Is Jordan Clarkson in that group? I doubt it. Is Mike Conley in that group? I doubt it. Like, I think the Jazz, based on what's going to happen after the All-Star game and into the summer, that's when we're going to know what their true motives were.
Yeah.
I don't see a situation where Danny Ainge is like, hey, how many games can we lose and what's the math to get VW? You really think that's what Danny Ainge is doing here?
Nah, yeah.
I don't see that at all.
Yeah, no, I can't. Yeah, no, I don't see it at all either. But maybe we're just casuals. Maybe we're wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, we never get anything right on the Jazz.
Well, we're the YouTube hack, so like obviously,
there it is.
You're casual.
The daily YouTube hack reference.
Yeah.
on the show. The biggest stories in sports on this show are presented by Quick Quack Car Wash. What's going on with the weather in this town? Dude, this is crazy. And I know a lot of people love this time of year. I do. I mean, we could barely walk into the building this morning. And of course, what's the first one that pops up?
Yeah.
Conapolly.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
I miss Maui. I do. I miss Maui.
Oh, it's 76 and sunny every day.
It is. But you look at the forecast, bro, we're looking at rain the next 2 days and 20 degrees, and you got to have a wash pass. Your car is going to get crushed. Trust me when I say that. The salt, the dirt, the grime, hook it up at Quick Quack Car Wash. They're friendly. It's fast. Jake won't die in your car while you go through the car wash.
Nope.
Our biggest stories in sports this morning are presented by Quick Quack Car Wash. You all right over there?
Struggling a little bit today, but we're all right.
I'm telling you, when you get to a Saturday and you're like, well, hey, guys, Jake walks into our house on Saturday, right? And he's like, who's on Team Vitamin C today? And I'm like, okay. You were feeling it Saturday, weren't you?
Barely.
Don't.
But yes. I didn't chew it.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
So it only lasted you less than 35 minutes.
Yeah, or so.
You're an idiot.
What? 45 minutes is like an arbitrary number.
Okay, give me a cough drop. Let's race.
Okay, I've already started.
What would you like to bet that I can make this cough drop last longer?
Okay, we're not talking about making it last longer. We're talking about the proper amount of time it lasts. So 2 minutes for you is not going to get it done.
Okay, well, usually it does, though.
Well,
the point is you shouldn't be chewing your cough drop. It's a throat lozenge, not a piece of candy, dick.
Sorry, did you say a throat lozenge?
Do you not? No, I didn't say lozenge.
What did you say?
Lozenge.
I don't know what that means, bro. I don't know. I'm dumb. I don't know what that means.
God.
Yeah, start. You know what? We haven't had a prayer this week. Why don't you go ahead and pray? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Guy, it's a throat lozenge. That means
everybody
that
gets a test.
You're good at sucking on it, so just let it let it
rest. Let it rest
between your cheek and gum, and it's all good.
Right.
That's all you have to do.
Okay.
But you walked into Casa de Monte on Saturday,
right?
And you're like, "Oh, who's team? Vitamin C?"
Yeah.
And Mrs. Monty and I looked at each other like, "Dude."
No, you did not.
Yeah, we did too.
Stop.
Yeah, we did too.
Okay.
And then I asked you on Sunday when you were sitting here like just grinding out, I was like, hey, you feeling all right? What's going on? No, I'm fine.
Well, got stuff to do.
Dummy. Yeah, and apparently taking NyQuil and DayQuil didn't start till yesterday when it was too late.
Well,
How do you not know the word throat lozenge?
Because who says it's a cough drop? Who says throat lozenge?
Yeah, it's not lozenge.
Jesus,
it's not lozenge. It's lozenge.
Lozenge. What are you, French?
No. Oh my people! Do you see what I deal with every day? This is what I deal with every day.
With all due respect.
James Knight says all that money you spent on Jake's education was well spent. Clearly,
damn,
exactly right. My grandma. Oh, Tanner's here.
Thanks for showing up on time.
Good morning, Tanner. My grandma actually. Hey guys. My grandma actually eats cough drops like candy. It's kind of funny.
Hey guys.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Kenny's like, bro. TF is a lozenge. I'm French and I've never heard of that.
That's my point. Thank you.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God. NY Monty fan says, yes, cough drop Grand Prix. By the way, do you still have your cough drop?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you?
Yeah, it's right here.
No, you're a liar. See what this is. Stop it. Stop. Anyway. Now everybody's in on this. LOL, wow, Jake, first you dissed TD Jesus, now this. Exactly right.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all are casuals at all. I just trust y'all jazz info more than anyone in the market. Just didn't want to come off as taking a shot. No, it's all good.
We don't take it like that. I just think that this conversation around tanking is one that Jazz fans, disagree on. We've heard, so obviously with doing the show every day, like we get comments every day that are differing. Like we get people who say that, yeah, they're tanking. We get other people who say, no, they're not tanking. And so it's like, we tend to just go off of what's put in front of us. Okay, their behavior, like the trades they made, the way they made the trades, like, obviously the Gobert deal revolutionized or shocked the world, basically. And then the bogey trade was basically just a cash drop. Like you just were getting under the luxury tax threshold.
Yeah, and basically, the bogey trade was Kelly Olynyk, Saban Lee, and the Pistons gave the Jazz $1.2 million to pay Saban Lee's full salary.
Yeah.
And the Jazz turned around and said, okay, cool, can I get a reach around? Here's Bojan Bogdanovic.
Right.
Me?
Nothing?
Dude, are you serious right now?
Who is?
Are you serious?
I don't know what that was.
And now my Siri is talking.
Wow, okay. Anyway, that was weird. I said reach around and Siri started talking. I'm just saying. The point is, I just think it was a trash trade. That's still the trade that's stuck in my craw.
But anyway, my point is to C's comment there. What I was getting to is just that it's not that we take it as like a shot or something or disrespect. I just think that this team is one that I think Jazz fans are going to vacillate on for a long time.
Yeah, tanking. I hate tanking. Hullabilly says, wasn't calling you a casual. I just follow the Jazz big time and don't think they're tanking. Trade should happen by tanking, but tanking, no.
Yeah.
I agree.
Agreed.
Kenny says, tanking or not, why haven't we seen Ochai Agbaji? I just think he's not ready. And this is the Jared Butler conversation.
Yeah.
You knew Jared Butler wasn't ready. And they tried to force him in at times, and he looked terrible. And my fear for Agbaji is that he is a 4A player. I've heard that occasionally about him.
Well,
then what that means is you're not a major leaguer. You're not good enough to be in the majors, but you're too good to be in AAA, and that makes you a 4A player.
So it's another Doak, basically.
Yeah, I don't even think Doak's a 2A player. I'm just not a Udoka Azubuike fan.
Yeah.
Even a little bit. Yeah. But again, I totally get that. James Knight says, lose the cough, lolly. Jake, it's unprofessional. YouTube hack, LOL.
Thank you, James. Still haven't gotten beer, by the way.
Always good to see you, James.
Yeah, thanks.
Glad to see you're salty again. Siri wants to talk about the Jazz, and take note, hashtag is programmed into her. Okay.
Well, there you go.
I'll program something into her. Big no tanking. No one plays to lose. I don't disagree with that. I don't. By the way, what do you make of the Ben Simmons thing last night? Because I want to talk a little general NBA as well. If you didn't see it, Ben Simmons fouled out. Kevin Durant dropped an F-bomb. And I wonder if there is some truth to this narrative that NBA officials will target the Nets.
Uh-huh.
I kind of think that's happening. By the way, Philadelphia finally got a win, so I don't look like a complete buffoon.
Right. Yeah.
What do you make of the Ben Simmons thing last night?
I think Ben Simmons has trouble with fouling out. That's what I think. I think that that was not a foul on John Morant, or that that play that was not a foul on Ben Simmons that they called. I don't think it was a foul. I think it was good physical play.
Yeah.
But that's not really how the NBA works, and I think we all know that. It's not really about. Unfortunately, it's not really about just that one play. I think a lot of times when officials blow the whistle, it's a cumulative effect. It's been building. It's, hey, I missed a call, on Ja 5 minutes ago, and so I need to make that up, or I did this or I did that. Like, that definitely happens. So to me, if you're Ben Simmons, like, your whole job is just to keep Ja in front of you, not push him into an over and back violation. So like, when you're playing John Morant, you're obviously not looking to press the guy, to a point where you're going to commit a foul. But Ben did that. And so that's what I'm saying. He put himself in a position, for the official to blow the whistle. That's the problem, not the actual play itself, if you're Ben Simmons.
Yeah, and I just think that the Nets are going to get targeted by the officials. I don't have any doubt about that. I think you look at that team, the Brooklyn Nets, shockingly, they're starting to turn into KD and Kyrie. Like that, both those guys, I think, had, 37 last night? Like, it's...
Yeah.
I think Steve Nash I could be coming around to the fact that Steve Nash may be the problem in Brooklyn, because I don't see them spreading the ball. I don't see them running like some kind of offense that's going to get them a desired result. Like, I don't see any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's not easy to do on a team that's loaded with talent like that, though. Like those guys, because the trade-off is like, hey, I'm Kevin Durant, I'm one of the best players in the world. Give me the ball and let me shoot it, type deal. Versus playing team basketball, and that I think is what Steve Nash is struggling with.
Yeah,
for sure.
Interesting. M. Alvarez says Jake is a millennial, so he wouldn't know the different word for cough drop.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and as someone who is really stupid, I struggle with certain words. So thank you. You know,
I mean, you're not the brightest guy ever,
right? Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No.
Oh, man, I just did such a good job of not saying something horrible. I'm so proud of myself right now. And I just want to take this time to thank my heart and soul for protecting me and reining in my tongue and my brain at the same time, so that I did not say that horrible thing that I probably wish I could have said but didn't, and stuff.
No,
So,
I guess not.
yeah, no, I didn't say it, but,
I want to thank me.
Are you going to thank me?
No.
Because that would have been the thing. Here, I'm going to be a jerk. The thing that I didn't say that I wanted to say that would have been amazing was truly amazing. So you're welcome.
So what do you want to say?
I can't say it.
Why?
Deuce says Ben Simmons is the toughest defender in that starting lineup. People are definitely going to be looking to be physical with him. John Morant did that whole roll the ball up thing. My question is, why do you let guys roll the ball up like that? Why don't you run at him and make him pick it up?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never understood that. I really don't understand it. No. Hullabilly says, Jake throwing bars, official to throw the whistle. Oof, you go, boy. Okay. I mean, I don't know what that means. MY Monty fan says, that's interesting. I never thought about Nash. He also doesn't have coaching experience, does he? He does not. I think he's the problem in Brooklyn. Because I don't see cohesion. Although it was enjoyable to watch Ben Simmons shoot a three last night. That happened.
Yeah.
As a noted Brooklyn Nets fan, how did you feel about it?
I mean, I think that the Nets are, as I've been saying, are tough because, like, as a coach, it's difficult to tell Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving, don't take that shot, right? Move the ball, make an extra pass. It's difficult to say that to a guy like that because you know that they're probably going to shoot 38 to 40% from the field, then probably another 36 to 38% from three. So they're capable. They're very capable. The problem is that there's a ton of scouting on them now. So this is kind of what I was saying about the Jazz and their early on success. There's no scouting on the Jazz yet. People don't know how they want to play. They just know they're a work-hard team. And so, like, when you start playing teams as the Brooklyn Nets, like, when you're playing them, you're going to scheme to take Kevin Durant out of it as much as you can and put the ball in Ben Simmons' hands in the three-point corner and live with the result. Like, that's what I think teams do to the Nets. And then I think Steve Nash struggles to make that adjustment and say, okay, Ben, we need you to just drive to the basket like 5, 6, 7 possessions out of the next 10 because we need to start establishing that paint game so we can get back to the three-point game. Like, I don't see a lot of in-game adjustment.
Do you still have your throat lozenge?
Yes.
I'm almost at the end of it.
Well, I thought it...
That just happened. My throat lozenge is now a rug lozenge.
Damn.
But I do have a little...
Yeah, don't chew him. Don't chew him.
I was trying to display it, you jerk. James Knight says, I hope you're not suggesting sacking the coach. Are you, Monty? Well, I don't talk about coaches' sacks at all, ever. I don't. They're usually wrinkled. The old adage, great players don't necessarily make great coaches. Amen to that, Ed. No doubt. Tanner Plummer says, I think that Ben Simmons... Ben 10 will be okay in the long run. He will. Hullabilly says, I'm proud of you too, Monty. Oh, thank you.
Get a room.
Thank you. That's
Get a room.
That's nice. Tanner says, Mont has willpower. Never thought I'd see that. Yeah, well, is what it is. House Montemayor is not House Targaryen. You have class. Exactly. Mark Hale says, amazing in your own mind every day. Every night, too. Ask Mrs. Monty. NY Monty fan says, now I kind of wish you would have said it, Monty. Well, that was the whole point.
That's right, T.
I'm just being, in stuff. Hullabilly says, I was complimenting Jake's ability to rhyme, which he has none. Do you know what? I know you don't know lozenge, but do you know what rhyme?
Yeah, you know.
Dropping beats. Wow, wow.
Right.
What?
Official blowing the whistle. Okay.
Hey, you see,
And stuff.
It's great. James Knight says, hard to believe we're pointing the finger at the coach. 78 games to go.
Yeah, but you've seen what he's done
It's
the last
not.
couple
Yeah,
seasons,
it's not
like,
this season.
Come on, guy.
It's not a. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Butthead. I'm sorry, your name is Hey Butthead. Hey Butthead said, I think DM finally out of the way. Conley can command the team at point and facilitate passing while being a threat himself as long as he stays healthy anyway.
Who the f*** is that guy?
Water's wet, and we have to do football at 50. 10 to the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. We play football music.
Football. Tommy.
We talk football and Tommy. By the way, they're getting divorced. Yeah, it's all but
it's
done.
all in motion.
Yeah, it's all but done. They're getting divorced, no doubt about that. Tommy and Jizzy G.
Tommy.
Tommy.
Giselle Bundchen.
By the way, speaking of Tommy, did you guys see this situation where you order your Papa Murphy's pizza on the Papa Murphy's app and you use the promo code Monty25 and you save 25% off your purchase at $25 or more? You're welcome. The NFL is investigating a autograph scandal. As several officials were seen in the tunnel asking Mike Evans, the guy who used to catch touchdowns but now drops them, for an autograph. Should NFL officials be able to get autographs from players?
Nope.
Jake?
Nope. Not at all.
Why?
I think that it's a conflict of interest. I think that it sends the complete wrong message to fans of the league. Like, I think you as an official of the NFL are getting guys autographs after the game just tells me that you're a bigger fan of Mike Evans, which could bias your opinion. So I don't think you should be able to.
Yeah, it could bias your opinion for certain. BYU football talk coming up in 9 minutes. After we talk about the Washington Commanders.
The Commanders.
Forcing fans to hide the signs that say sell the team. Signs are allowed at
what is
FedEx
this, North
Field.
Korea?
No, they are allowed, right? So they have to be positive signs about the team. And these fans had to sell the team signs. And they won't let fans wear brown bags over their heads as well. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So what do you make of this is clearly a bad look for the Commanders.
Yeah, I think it's a bad look for the Commanders. I think that it also is a consistency thing like that. This is how they look all the time. I think that Daniel Snyder is an awful human being, and it doesn't surprise me they did this. And I think that, the guy is consistently running from his issues instead of fixing them. And I think that that's, never gonna work out for you in the long run. Eventually, it's gonna catch up to you. So that, I'm not surprised to hear this.
Daniel Snyder's a POS. The guy should not be an owner of an NFL team. That's just my opinion. I think come on. He quite literally is human trash. Like, the guy is, stop. That you're not letting guys do that. It is amazing to me. And this is, I guess, my issue. I think there's so many rich white guys in the NFL that are just terrible owners. Are you dying?
Yes.
Don't die. I look at the Glazers. I look at Jera.
Bob Kraft.
Is Bob Kraft okay? Wow, you're really going to bring this up now.
Yep.
So he gets a hand-me-down, and all of a sudden he's a terrible guy.
Yep.
I mean, he's a terrible guy for going to a sex worker. I would agree with that, but I don't.
The Spanos family,
But wait, no, I'm stuck on the Bob Kraft sex thing. Thankfully, we never saw the tape. But do you condemn him forever now because of that?
Yeah, I will never.
You do.
I will never respect his character ever again. Nobody with high characters and morals would go to a sex worker.
Wow. I don't know that I condemn him forever. As men, I think we all make mistakes. I don't know where you put, patronizing a sex worker on the moral totem pole Well, let's see. Tithing is clearly at the top. Ted Cruz is somewhere in the middle.
Excuse me, it's Cancun Cruz.
Is getting a handy from a sex worker above or below Cancun
Is sticking
Cruz?
your tongue down someone's throat in front of the football team on that totem pole, or what's the deal?
Why would you bring that up? You know how much I struggled with that last week, right? You know that I'm on, no. Jerry Jones is the same guy who talked about circumcising skaters.
Yeah, I'm going to circumcise some skaters.
Look, what do you do if Jerry Jones is coming in for a kiss? Like, I don't know what you do.
You
punch him in the face.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, bro.
I think that you can't condemn Robert Kraft to hell forever. I mean, certainly for some amount of time.
I still think he's a good human.
And I think that's where you go too far. I think you go too far.
Okay.
So he
went to
got
a
a massage
parlor, bro.
Right, his back was sore.
Yeah, sure.
And from what I understand, his front was sore when he was done.
Sure. Look, Deshaun, we get it. You were sore. Okay.
It doesn't make okay, Deshaun Watson is a terrible human. Does anybody doubt that?
How many
No.
times has Bob Kraft been in a massage parlor in his life?
Hundreds?
What are we even talking about?
I don't think he's a terrible human. I don't. I don't. All right, couple of your comments in here because I'm sure this will draw some. Sydney Smith said Jerry Jones is the face of America. Well, this incarnation of Jerry Jones's face,
Merca,
is because he had got different.
He had some plastic surgery, and then he put some salt on his skeeters and his sandwich and his beef,
Tanner Plummer says, no, Mont, as men, we have to be perfect. I don't know about all that, but he does thank you for calling Ted Cruz by his real name. Did you see Ted Cruz went on The View and just got shellacked? Like, them girls went after
I'm going
Cancun
in.
Cruz. Why would you ever go on that show? Teddy Canadian Cruz. Okay. Ken Williams says people make bad choices. Deshaun Watson isn't making bad choices. Bob Kraft made a bad choice to go to a massage parlor where there were cameras. Make a better choice.
I can't believe we
go to a
disagree on
massage
this,
parlor where there are no cameras. That was a joke.
You went to a massage parlor with the intent to have sex.
He did. I agree. That's a terrible thing to do.
And you've probably done that hundreds of times. And you only got caught because they didn't check a box on a piece of paper. Come on, dude.
No, you only got off.
You only got off.
Well, okay, that's not true.
What you meant to say
you only didn't go to trial because they didn't fill out the affidavit correctly. But I'm not ready to convict him as a terrible person for the rest of his life.
You're getting soft on me, man.
I'm not. I just think that our society has become so sexual in nature, and social media's existence makes it more readily available. Exposed. Well, exposed isn't the word.
The
end result for Bob wasn't a good one. Well, but wait. At the end result, at the parlor, but see what I meant, Anyway, the point is, he went to a rub and tug joint and got caught.
A rub and tug joint.
And got caught. He did. And so I just don't think it's the end of the world. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think it makes him a terrible person.
All right.
So, NY Monty fan says The View is complete garbage. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. Shellacked. We were not watching the same thing. Not a fan of the guy, but guts going on that train wreck show. He got crushed on The View.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. Why do you go on The View?
Because you want attention. That's why. You want people to talk about you. That's why.
But you knew Whoopi was going to go after him.
Whoopi was going to whoop that ass.
I don't know if she whooped that ass, but it is what... I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. By the way, are you voting in November?
Obviously. Yeah.
I have no idea who I'm voting for.
Yeah,
Football.
I'm sure we'll get another old goat to vote for.
Wow. That was amazing. Football at 50-10 of the hour, every hour. Real quick, by the way, did you see the Colts benched Matt Ryan? I don't know what you do with that.
Yeah.
I honestly, and then the best part was that Frank Reich was like, it's not Matt's fault. We didn't support him, so we're going to bench him, and we're going to play the kid from Texas. And
Sam Ehlinger.
And,
good try.
So
wait, did you bench him or no?
Yeah.
Well, actually.
Not really. You know.
Come on.
Boyd Lake says, Cruz is selling a book. All press is good press. Yes, he said that like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Renee says, old goat, you mean Tom Brady?
Yeah.
You could mean Tom Brady. Football 50, 10 to the hour. Every hour on the Monty Show, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Don't forget to use our promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your Jacko Pizza order. Yeah, you're running out of time to get a Jacko Pizza.
911, what's your emergency?
Something is in my house.
I'm sorry, say again?
I smell something delicious and I don't know what it is.
Ma'am, can you describe it for me?
It smells like golden crust, freshly shredded cheese, and pepperoni.
Ma'am, we've traced the smell, and it's coming from inside your oven.
What do you mean?
It's a Papa Murphy's Jacko Pizza, and it's just $10.
Ah, amazing.
Papa Murphy's.
Amazing commercial.
Yes.
Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase at $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza.
Papa Murphy's.
Good morning to you, my friends.
Yeah.
Hour number 1 down. Here we are, hour number 2, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business are right here in Utah. Matt Driggs and those guys, I've known them for over 10 years. They take great care of people. They know that when you get in an accident, it's probably the worst day of your life. And that includes workman's comp. If you get injured on the job, you got to find a way to pay your bills. That's why you go to the Advocates. UtahAdvocates.com. You don't pay a penny out of your pocket until the Advocates win your case. UtahAdvocates.com. An interesting day in news. You want to do Adidas dumping Kanye or BYU?
Let's do Adidas. I feel like we had a really
you want to talk
conversation.
Adidas?
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys don't know this story, Kanye West, who admittedly has issues mentally, he deals with, apparently, allegedly, he deals with some mental health issues.
Right.
And he has gone on to this anti-Semitic rhetoric is the best way I can put it, and he has taken it to another level, and now Adidas says they're out. They have dumped him. Do you care about this stuff? Like, where do you come down on this societal stuff?
I think that Kanye West, or now known as Ye, is just he's out there, man. Like, he is. I don't think it's too strong to say that the guy is legit crazy. Like, I don't think that's too strong to say it. Like, I think, going on that set and talking about how George Floyd died because of fentanyl in his system and not because, Kavanaugh kneeled on his, or who have the cop's name kneeled on his neck for 9 minutes. Like, saying things like that is the exact problem in our country. So when I hear that Adidas finally got off the horse and said, okay, yeah, this is too far for us. Like, we have to kind of part ways on this. First of all, I say I'm not an Adidas guy, number one. I'm a Nike guy all day. Number two, I really don't care. Like, Kanye representing the Adidas brand never made me buy Adidas shoes. And number three, I really don't listen to Kanye's music much anymore, and that hasn't really been like an intentional thought. It's just like, that's just how it is now.
I think this is we are watching the incredibly sad decline of Kanye West. And I think, one of the interesting things is as a connoisseur of shoes, and I would love to see you guys in the chat, where do you guys come down on shoes? Like, I'm a Nike guy, I'm a Jordan guy, and I understand we all have issues with China, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
But you have to have a conscience on some level if you're a company. So you look at all of the companies that have cut ties with Kanye. I just don't know how this ends. Not even happily. Just without significant damage to who that guy is as a human.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think that there's not an easy solution, and I think it's like this whole game that is played where it's like guys will just say whatever they want. And I think that there's this group of people that we hear about, whether it's in celebrities or politics, they all kind of run in the same circles where they just live in a different reality, and that's fine. I mean, again, like, that's the beautiful thing and the worst thing about our country, in my opinion. The best thing about us is that you can say whatever you want. You have that freedom. But I also think the worst thing is that because we have that freedom, we can say whatever we want, and unfortunately, people will just eat it up. And I think that's the trouble. It's like I feel like we've lost our ability to fact check or to really understand what's true and what's not true. Like, what is just a voice box and what is actually like happening? What's reality?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, do you care about the moral compass of the companies you do business with?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. For me, like on a very surface level, I always try to buy local. 1, 2, like with shoes, there's no way to buy them local. There's not like a business that is Jimmy Bob's shoe store that has Jordan stock or whatever. Like there's no, and if there was, that's who I'd be buying it from. Happy to pay more to run that money through a local business. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, I think on some level, but the problem we run into is that there's always going to be an issue. Like, hey, people are slaving away in Amazon warehouses, and, Amazon treats their warehouse walkers or workers or stockers really poorly. Yeah, that's what they call them. They have people who just literally walk like 10, 12 miles a day around the facility, like getting orders. They used to refer to them as pickers, but I think now it's walkers, if memory serves. But the point is like,
wow. Like,
you see what I'm saying? There's always going to be a way to be like, oh, you bought Jordans? You're supporting a company that's killing koala bears in the wild. Did you know that? And it's like, all right, man, like, I get it. There's always an issue.
No company is perfect, but I look at this situation with Kanye. I don't know how you continue to have him on board. And I think this is the slippery slope when we talk about celebrity endorsers too. And I guess my question is, if you're a consumer and you see a guy like Kanye or Tommy or any of these other guys, like, do you buy things because famous people or people you admire tell you to? And I think that's a real question in Hollywood now. Like, I think it's really difficult to trust Hollywood celebrities like Kanye West to buy his shoes that are worth billions, or they were. I mean, the Yeezy was $1 billion brand.
Yeah, at one time was a Nike product.
Yeah, and I think now clearly that's over with. Yeah. Do you buy things based on what celebrities tell you?
Not really. No. I think that used to be a thing, but I think we're well past that now because of the cell phone. Again, like I know the cell phone inevitably comes up in a lot of these conversations we have, but because of the cell phone, you can see and get all the information you need on it. Like when we're buying MacBooks or lenses for cameras or any sort of tech thing that I need to make sure works the way I want it to work, I'm not going to go ask, some kid at Apple if it works right. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to find real life examples and real life samples of people using it and seeing if they get the result that I'm looking for, and that's ultimately what decides what product I end up buying. And frankly, how much I spend. Like, this is the conversation around the iPhone, right? Like when the iPhone 14 came out, which neither of us got, by the way, but when that came out, the conversation was all the rage about battery life and a new camera. And like it's a perfect example. Like people are not buying the iPhone 14 because the iPhone 13, specifically the Pro Max with a 1 terabyte chip in it, is a great phone. Yeah. And I think you see that whether it's Yeezys or whether it's Nikes, like because we've been collecting for probably 7-8 years now, and over that time you've collected so many pairs, you're not as interested. The thirst to get every single one that comes out isn't there. We'd rather build this studio or do that. So that's why I say it doesn't really move me when LeBron does AT&T spots or when Kanye represents this Yeezy brand, or like it just has never been a mover for me, I guess. But
I will say I won't buy things that LeBron endorses.
Well,
I don't. I am. Is that me? I'm probably a jerk for that. I won't because I just won't. That's
but you notice that Apple doesn't do endorsements like that. You notice that?
Not anymore. They don't.
They don't put iPhones in people's hands. They just give you the commercial, and they know the brand power is it.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a great point. Comment done by law. There it is. Mike Maple says Kanye is going full Charlie Sheen. Never go full Tiger Blood.
Yeah.
It's sad to watch. It is really sad to watch. I just can't. I can't do it. Kurt Meyer says, "Hey, where is our Hall of Famer Greg Hawkins? His dad is. Hope his dad is getting better. Greg is. He just has a life now.
Yeah.
So he listens to the show on replay usually. Boyd Lake says Kavanaugh can't catch a break. Kavanaugh, I don't know who that is. I can't stand rap music. It's trash. Ooh. Well, Drake would disagree that it's trash. Renee Roca says, I agree, not a Kanye fan. Dude has played out. Adidas has the most fresh, old school kicks, bro. So I grew up loving one particular shoe other than Jordan's. The Samba from Adidas, the indoor soccer shoe. They don't make it in my size. I wear a size huge dong, and they don't make it in my size. Sorry, Kanye, I didn't mean to, or Kawhi, I didn't mean to leave your laugh low.
Yeah.
Boyd Lake loves him some Adidas. MY Monty fan says, sorry, I will always be a Nike Jordan guy. Me too.
Same.
I got the orange and white 13s on today, so there you go. Doesn't he refuse to take medication? Renee Roca says to Kanye, yes, he does.
Yes.
He refuses, yeah. Shoes I put on my feet, LOL. I love shoes. I do. Salty Drunk says, how popular is Asics in the States? See, look at my guy James Knight. Changing to a 4X gold picture and calling himself the Salty Drunk.
How do you know that's him?
Oh, that's him. Asics are not really popular in the States. Boyd Lake says, I like Nike too. Not an either or for me. Yeah, I'm a Nike guy, a hundo.
I have one pair of Ultra Boosts, and that's it.
As do I, which you bought for me. But I also have a really good pair of New Balance casuals.
Yeah.
Those red New Balance casuals.
Yep.
I just got my Hokas. The Hokas are amazing. I'm a huge fan of that. Holabilly says, I love Kanye, but his last interview with Lex was mind-boggling. The things Kanye is saying right now are terrifying.
Hey, guys.
It's terrifying to me. Absolutely terrifying. Cam Harrison says, definitely New Balance shoes. Nothing wrong with New Balance.
Yeah.
New Balance a good shoe. Salty Drunk says, the local business is called eBay.
Nah.
Jake, do you have any experience with eBay?
Nope.
When Jake was a kid...
nope.
Okay, we'll move on.
No, I mean, you can tell the story. I just don't have experience with eBay.
Matt Ritson says New Balance best for wide shoes. Yeah, my feet aren't wide, but yes, I agree with that. BB said if people cared, then no one would order Nike work camps or Apple or Android or...
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a conscience about the products you bought, you would not shop at all, would you?
No, you wouldn't. But I also think that, the same people who say, hey, those are like really tough camps, I'm curious what how it all works. Because, yeah, I mean, it sucks. Like, I don't want to put someone through some terrible thing at their job, but, like, I don't know. Like, that's why I say, like, there are levels to it. Like, yeah, I get it. Jordans and Nike products are made in some factory, a sweatshop factory in China or something. I don't know. But I think that it's just part of the world now. I don't think there's any getting away from it, whether it's MacBooks, microphones, switchers, monitors, wall wraps, like neon signs. Like, everything is made with cheap labor. It just is what it is.
Totally agree. Hullabilly says he's making it tough. People are giving him chances to redeem, but he seems to not want that. Well, in these interviews, he'll say outrageous things, even on like the Tucker Carlson interview, and I hate Tucker. But even on the Tucker Carlson interview, Tucker tried to give him outs. They even edited out his worst lines.
Yeah.
And he still came off looking like a psychopath. It's brutal.
Yeah.
NY Monty fan says, maybe as a kid I did. Listen, Wheaties are the worst cereal ever, but I ate them because Jordan ate his Wheaties. Now I know he was lying. No one eats Wheaties. Nobody eats Wheaties.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody
knows. Tanner Plummer says, man, ever since Kanye attached himself to the Tangerine Twitter machine, he's gotten more unstable.
Hey, guys.
Don't start.
Hey, guys.
Don't start, Tanner. Renee Roca, sports, celebrities, movies. It's all marketing, and it all affects the average Joe. If it didn't, companies wouldn't spend millions. Beer, food, clothing, phones. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Hullabilly says people can't afford a new iPhone every year or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you got to know how to play the system.
You do have to know how to play the system. I would agree with that. I just, yeah. Parrish Duggar
Dude?
What's up, man? Thank God Kanye stole last year's Randall's attitude for him. Now Randall is back to being enjoyable to watch, being at an all-star level with a smile. If he ever figures it out, it won't be in a Knick uniform. It won't. Holabilly says Asics is popular among wrestling communities, but that's about it. Yeah, I would agree with that. Skechers for work, Nike for everything else. Mike Maple says Skechers make great
What do you do?
non-slips.
What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do for work? BB says Tucker is honest. Most Dems don't hate him. Most Dems do hate him. I think most people hate Tucker but tolerate him. I don't know.
Tucker is honest is the best joke I've ever heard.
Yeah, Tucker's not honest. He's not. He admits he's not honest.
Yeah.
By the way, sweatshops are essentially the modern day slavery system. There's some of that.
And so my point is, I don't even disagree. I don't disagree. But my point just is that everything you own, literally, is made in a sweatshop. Everything from your clothes to your phone to your computer to the TV to the nightstand at IKEA to everything. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. There's no getting away from it. There's no escaping it.
Yeah, no. There's no way. The emergence of electronics from Asia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where all of this starts. I mean, yeah, I agree. Boyd Lake says, love me some Wheaties. Boyd, stop lying because you don't. BYU in 2 minutes. Renee Roca right now. Jordan ate whiskey and Cuban cigars for breakfast. I believe that's true. Salty Drunk says, my previous name was Grogcock. I've been on for a while, been playing Xbox.
There's no way you're Grogcock.
Dude, it's James Knight.
I know it's James
Knight. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
Cam Harrison. No, that was not what you were saying.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I remember getting that poster of MJ in the Wheaties box. I can tell you as a kid growing up in Chicago, anything Jordan, I did it. I used to do Foot Locker. I only ever started working at Foot Locker so I could get Jordans. That's the only reason I ever did that. Let's see. Josh Levern says it's crazy and sad, Jake. By the way, everybody also is asking where your cough drop is.
It's melted away. It's gone.
Okay. All right. People need to understand that regardless of your side, welcome. We're all victims. I don't disagree with that. Tucker is a hack. Ask Fox lawyers if he should be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. Management. I'm in the process of opening the new Walmart online fulfillment center by the airport. Oh, nice, Mike.
Okay, Mike.
Congratulations, career man. BB says, but these companies try to act high ground and cancel you. Well, I think there's a lot of cancel culture going on. Jeremy Bolton says, good morning. Wheaties eaters are casuals. Yes, we were. I agree with that.
He's just a hack.
Merrill Jungle mocks because I'm too old and lazy to reach down to tie my shoe. I think, listen, I went through a phase last year where I only wore slip-ons, and I did age remarkably fast doing that. Salty Drunk says, I think the world should be worried about a mad Russian leader with an itchy trigger finger. That's true. Yeah. That is absolutely true. Otherwise known, that mad world leader that has an itchy trigger finger is Kalani Sitake, who says Elisa Tuiaki is no longer the defensive coordinator. He is only focused on the defensive line. Let's talk BYU football on the Monty Show. I think this is fascinating. Do you think, and I guess I don't, and we'll play the spite from Kalani first. But Kalani talks about how the defense is being coordinated. Did he fire Elisa Tuiaki as defensive coordinator?
As a defensive staff, we work together on game planning and everything. That's the entire staff with our analysts and GAs. We're all in there working hard and going through the film and talking scheme. I mean, I have a number of guys that are in that room that have been defensive coordinators before and have a lot of experience. And so it'd be really wise for me to listen to what they say, but at the end of the day, I'm coming up with the menu and deciding on the plays and deciding on the personnel. And when we do that, I'll call the plays on the game, and we just need to execute better. It's not about the plays or the calls. It's just about executing better.
Well, yeah. And then he went on to say, by the way, Elisa Tuiaki is only focused on D linemen. Mm-hmm. Did he fire Tuiaki as the DC?
I mean, I think that, yeah, on some level, yeah. I mean, he definitely has and this is kind of what I expected out of Kalani. Like, you're never going to come out and be like, oh, yeah, we fired, Elisa Tuiaki. That was never going to come out and be said. But what was said is Tuiaki is solely focused on the defensive line, right? So that's a very different role. That's not being a defensive coordinator. That is being a D-line coach. That's different, right? So to me, yeah, essentially, yes, he did. He did. He demoted him, and he took over the defensive coordinator role. Yes, but he did it quietly, and he did it in a way where Tuiaki, I would think, is not going to get a ton of flack for it.
I think that he absolutely fired him, and I think that it's not going to make a difference. We're too late into the season. This move should have been made last summer. And I think after the season, he doesn't have a choice. I think he is going to have to let go of Elisa Tuiaki, which will be very difficult for Kalani. They are longtime, lifelong friends, and I think it's very difficult to fire your friends, which is probably why you don't want to go into business with them unless they're the best in their position, and he is not. Elisa Tuiaki is in over his head as a defensive coordinator. And I think he's a very good D-line coach, and maybe we see better D-line play. But Kalani Sitake is a defensive coordinator from here to four, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that when –
Wow. Guy.
Wow. Well, look, I'm having to drink carbonated Monster because we don't have a fridge in here yet.
Well.
That'll change Thursday. Anyway.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Yeah, Thursday the refrigerator will be here. My point is that I think BYU's probably too far gone to bring this season back. And I think you're going to have a tough time beating East Carolina on Friday.
East Carolina.
Like, I think East Carolina is going to be a real problem for this team. And I think that there's a good chance that you are not going to win that game.
Yeah, I think the terminology of, like, save the season or, like, salvage the season, I just don't think that exists for BYU right now. I don't think that saving the season exists because the expectations were too high. The expectations were that you were going to be a 10-win team.
Yeah.
So going 7-4 or whatever it would be, or 7-5, I guess that'd be. That's not okay. Neat, great. You can go to the Rando Bowl and have a nice time, I guess. I just think it's. Going to a bowl at this point is almost distasteful, I feel like. I almost feel like you should, and this is kind of what you were saying yesterday, like decline the invite and work on the program, Now, you're not going to do that. You're going to go to the bowl. You're going to play the bowl.
If they only win 6 games, I don't think they're going to a bowl game.
Yeah, could be. It could be. But my point is that you have to get proactive here. I mean, you can't continue to do what you've been doing.
Would you take a bowl invite at 6 wins?
Probably not. Probably not, because I don't think that this program is, this program is, wow, in a position where they should be rewarded for 6 wins. I don't think 6 wins is good enough. I don't think anyone's happy with that. I think you didn't accomplish anything.
But this has been a mediocre football team at BYU all season long.
Right.
I mean, this has not been your typical 10-win Kalani team over the last several years. Like, I feel like this defense has been a handicap on this team all season.
Absolutely.
So now I feel like you're almost too late. Like
like you're playing for brownie points at this point. We're all on the same page with that, right? Like, you're not playing for anything major.
Yeah. I guess not. We'll see. Jeremy Bolton says, yes, you take the bid. That's one more game of experience for the young guys. Well, it's more practice.
Yeah.
You get more practice.
Practice.
But the problem is I think you have to move on very quickly. If you only win 6 games, I think, A, there's a lot of merit not going.
Yeah.
B, I think with the Big 12 here, you've got to be aggressively recruiting. And I think you need to move on from this season as soon as you can.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that this season has been a grinder. It's been an absolute meat grinder. And the funny thing is, I remember having conversations on the show about, like, in the preseason about how, hey, like, this schedule's hard and there's going to be a lot of adversity. And it's like, damn, like, the schedule is good, but we should have won a lot of these games. We didn't. And now we're here. And now Tuiaki's going to get whacked. And wouldn't be surprised if A-Rod, low-key got whacked and they just replaced the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need fresh voices headed into the Big 12. You do. You absolutely do.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know how you fix this. I do know that Kalani Sitake is the right guy. There is no doubt about that. Ken Williams says BYU has coaching issues. They looked terrible. They did. Josh Lovren says Sitake did everything besides the 2-boot salute and should have gone full Monty on Tuiaki and let him go. Kalani, and I think he said this yesterday. He's not a fire you in the middle of the season guy,
and I can respect that. I can respect that. Okay, you don't want to do that in the middle of the year and cause chaos. Okay, I can respect that. Right? This isn't the NFL where you're the Patriots and you're the Patriots of the 2000s and you got that kind of expectation. Like you understand where you are. And more importantly, where you're going. So I get it, but I will be extremely disappointed if Tuiaki is still in this program next season.
Wow. Extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Tuiaki has been demoted. If someone else is calling plays, someone else determines personnel, Tuiaki is no longer DC. I would agree with that. Ken Williams says Jake's on Tinder again. Are you on Tinder?
No, I'm not. No.
Did you enjoy your Tinder time?
No, not particularly.
Did you ever get a single date off of Tinder?
No.
Did you try?
Yes. And it didn't work.
But you also, when you were single, you also tended to attract women that, had the gate swing the other way.
Uh-huh.
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
Right. No, that's not inaccurate. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Jake tends to... there was a string of like 3-4 women that were like, nah, bro. Nah, nope, you're not my type.
That's right, T.
Matt Ritson says BYU's last game versus Stanford offense is terrible. Best offense is the field goal kicker. Final score 3-0. The offense at BYU is not the problem. And I'm tired of hearing I'm tired of the apologists saying that, Jaren's hurt and Jaren's this. And I don't care if Jaren Hall's hurt.
Yeah.
If Jaren Hall is too injured to be effective, play Jacob Conover.
Next man up.
I get it. I get it. But I think the excuses on defense are running out. You have good personnel. Chaz Ayu is going to play the last month of the season here, so he protects his red shirt.
You said the last month of the season here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a month away. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, dude.
Football season's almost over already, if you can believe that. And Morris says, hit that thumbs up. Yes.
Yeah, hit the like button, you casuals.
Please do.
Yeah.
Ken Williams says the problem for BYU is they can run the ball or tackle the 3-4 defense is trash.
Yeah, I don't understand the 3-4 concept, and I think that that to me is like Tuiaki trying to be cute. We're going to run a 3-4 against a team that clearly can run the football. You can't have a 3-4. You can't have, that concept doesn't work against teams like Wyoming where you've got a back, or like against Audric Estime or Raheem Sanders, or 3-4 schemes work great if you've got an elite guy coming off the edge, or if you, for whatever reason, have more than two guys in that linebacking core that can really get after it.
But it can work.
It can work, but I think that's what I'm saying. It can work, but there are some parameters, just like there is with every scheme.
Yeah.
I don't think that BYU's defense, with all due respect, whether it's Kalani or Tuiaki calling the plays, they are not talented enough to run a 3-4, in my opinion. You should be running a 4-3, playing single high safety, and putting your cornerbacks in a position to play man coverage. That's what you should do. Yeah. And if that doesn't work, then we can talk about zone. But I don't buy that like Judy Lawley or anybody in that secondary can't hold their own. I believe they can hold their own if you're playing 4-3.
Yep. Steve Barnard says, you're so right. Next year, BYU will be in the Big 12. The one thing BYU has that should help is that Sitake with the Utah when they made the transition to the Pac-12. Yes, he was. So he should know what it takes to move. That's interesting. Hula Billy says, hate to say it, but Jake is right. Ooh, nobody ever likes when Jake is right.
No, it's not. It's not good when I'm right. That usually means we're having a bad conversation.
And didn't they treat Ty Detmer similarly? They did. Yeah, unceremoniously fired him.
And that is a bitter topic at BYU.
It is. You're willing to fire an all-time great like Ty Detmer, but you're not willing to fire Elisa Tuiaki?
Yeah.
That smacks a little bit.
That's gnar.
I said that because the bots are back. Well, we took care of the bots. Good morning. Like button has been crushed again. Thank you. Yeah, only 24 likes. How do we have 115 people here and we only have 24 likes?
We have 1,000 views.
Yeah, how are we?
Come on, fam.
Come on, let's
go. Hit the like
button.
button.
I'm sorry, did you say fam?
Yeah, fam. Come on, fam.
All right, fam.
Yeah,
We're all
casual.
one big incestuous family. Bring your wives.
Right.
Let's see. Don't, actually. Tanner Plummer says it looks like BYU is changing their scheme to a 4-2-5. They could work, but I don't know anymore. I mean, there's no such thing as a 4-2-5.
Yeah, and again, my whole point is, you can run an 8-7-10 if you want to. Run whatever
I'm sorry,
scheme,
did you say an 8-7-10?
Yeah, whatever scheme or whatever cuteness you want to run on defense, great. But stop the run.
Wouldn't that be 25 people on the field?
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
That'd be a flag, Jake.
I know.
It's an illegal formation.
But see, BYU's very proficient at getting those.
Yeah, not having enough guys. That'd be too many guys. Jeremy Bolton says Ty Detmer was let go after the season. He was, but you're willing to fire Ty Detmer, but not Tuiaki. Nepotism? Friendship-ism? I mean,
I guess.
C says, I mentioned this too early, but any more news about my former players being upset about the direction of the program? Many former players. A few. I mean, we've talked about this in the past. I mean, I think boosters are really unsettled right now at BYU. I think there's a lot of internal workings that are not working internally.
Pause, bro. Pause.
But yeah, seriously. I think there's a lot of people who are not happy. Salty Drunk says, is it true Jake is still a virgin?
No.
Okay. Kenai Johnson says Air Max 90s. Always.
Yes.
Always.
Wore some yesterday.
You know, 425 is nickel. Yes, it is. There's no such thing as a 425.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's not a real, like, that's called nickel.
I feel like BYU does that too much. Like, even on offense too, like where you'll get you like there was a play, I don't remember exactly when it was, but you guys all know the play where BYU being like 3rd and 7, and you want to run the jet sweep with Puka and think that that's going to get the job done because you've got enough white shirts out there in the flat to block to get him to the stick. Like, that's not going to work, man. Yeah. That's not going to work against teams who have good safeties and speed safeties, because they're going to see that and they're going to come for you. So that's why I say, like, whether we're talking about like these ridiculous 4-2-5 schemes, which doesn't exist, it's nickel. I totally agree with that. Or you're talking about jet sweeps, or you're talking about not establishing 5 guys on the offensive line, or like that's my issue, dude.
5 guys?
Yeah, that's my issue.
Man, how good would a burger be right now?
I would smash a burger. I smashed one yesterday. I'd smash another one right now.
I think what the hard part about 5 guys on the defensive line is that they don't trust their secondary. But I also think this is one of the things you have to talk about. Is like, what position should Chaz Ayu be playing? Is he a safety or a linebacker? Max Tooley's a safety, not a linebacker, playing linebacker, right? And so I think their linebackers are really talented. I think it's unfortunate that Peyton Wilger's been hurt, but I think you have to use your defenders in the best way possible.
Yes.
And I don't think BYU has done that.
Totally agree.
I really don't. I would agree, Jeremy. I bet Tuiaki's gone after the season. Van Noy was ticked on Twitter, Boyd Lake says. Ryan Hancock and others, upset voices are getting loud. They are. And it's not probably going to change. Ken Williams says, I hit the like button before I listen. That way I don't forget. Yeah, hit the like button.
Thank you, Ken.
Let's go, Ken. Lead by example. Let's do this. Lead by example. Thank you. We're over 30 now. Kurt Myers says, Bronco also had monster ends. I'm tired of hearing about Broncos.
Yeah.
Teams. I'm tired of hearing about Bronco.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah. 5 Guys has great burgers, Steve Barnhart says. We have them all over down here in Florida.
That's right, T.
Listen, 5 Guys is...
It's the best burger, dude.
I will say we went to the break yesterday for lunch.
Yeah.
The break here in West Valley is pretty good.
It is. Yeah, their burn-in mac and cheese is so good. National Pasta Day today.
No, it's World Pasta Day.
World Pasta Day, sorry.
And it is one of the biggest stories in sports. Presented by our good friends at Quick Quack Car Wash. Make sure you get by Quick Quack Car Wash because you know that it's going to be raining the next 2 days.
Yep.
And I don't know where all this weather came from.
Let's check the forecast again. Let's see here.
It's supposed to be raining outside right now.
It's supposed to be drizzling.
Although I see first light. How weird is it that it's like almost 7:40 and first light just happened?
Yeah, first light just happened. And yes, in South Jordan, it is supposed to start raining in 30 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hullabilly says the Blackhawks suck. Well,
dude, Hullabilly, why would you say that? Like,
you know, it is what it is. Boyd Lake says we need Chaz as a linebacker. We're missing Malik Moore on the back end. At some point, are you going to make it over there?
No, nope.
Was that a yawn?
Yes.
Yes, me too. At some point, you need Malik Moore back. You know, it is what it is. I want BYU to be good. I want Utah to be good, but. I mean, there's so much dysfunction in football in this state. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't understand one of the only things I don't like about Kalani is that I feel like he's too nice overall. Like, I'm not just talking about on the football field, because we've all agreed that, yes, he is too nice on the football field. But, like, I think in the way he handles the defensive coordinator stuff, and the way that he kind of goes about, building culture in the program, it's cool that these guys all love each other and treat each other like brothers, but like,
oh God, here it comes.
But like, you have to win football games, man. You can't come out here against Liberty and get beat as badly as you did, and then have your head coach in the post-game presser and in the presser yesterday or whatever, say, well, Liberty was a really good team and executed at a really high level, and they were really well coached, and congratulations to Liberty. Like, cool, man, we get it. You lost the game. We get it. Like, Liberty
we
throttle.
Get it.
Like, we understand, but. Like, why can't I want to play this A-Rod sound that we have?
Oh boy.
So the reason I want to play this is because A-Rod kept it real on, I think this
A-Rod kept it real
on Coach's Corner here.
Yes. Coordinator's Corner, please.
Coordinator's Corner.
Greg Wrubell, the voice of the Cougars
on the New Skin Radio Network.
I want to make that clear. This game had nothing to do with scheme. This play had to do with our mindset and our ability to handle adversity.
Why do you love that so much?
Because he's honest. Because it's the truth. It is what actually happened. You didn't lose because your scheme sucked. You didn't lose because the game plan was bad. The scheme didn't suck and the game plan didn't suck. You lost because you're not a mentally tough team. You lost because you don't know how to tackle somebody. Wow. You lost because you didn't execute. So that's why I say, all these people on Twitter talking about, oh, well, BYU has G5 talent behind the starters. Who cares? You're better than Liberty. Yet you're not executing.
Let's play it again. Here's and I believe in Aaron Roderick.
Yeah.
Are you an A-Rod guy?
I would say 60%.
Ooh, only 60%.
Yeah, 60%. Yeah.
Wow. In the comments, if you're a BYU fan, are you an A-Rod guy? Here's what he said.
I want to make that clear. This game had nothing to do with scheme. This play had to do with our mindset and our ability to handle adversity.
Oof. Our ability to handle adversity. I'm an A-Rod guy. I always have been. I still don't understand why he didn't stay at Utah. I think he's done a good job with BYU. I mean, I don't know what most BYU fans think, but I like him a lot. I don't think the offense is the issue, though. Again, this Connor Page, Joe Tukuafu thing, I think is interesting. I think the rotations on the offensive line are not what I would recommend. But in general, I think he does a good job.
Yeah, my single biggest issue with A-Rod is the play calling. I mean, I think that, like, okay, I understand if your team struggles to run the football. Okay, if that was the only issue, that's almost passable, right? Because not every team's going to have some prolific running game. But what I don't love is the play calling, because the play calling is what really makes Jaron play with one hand behind his back. I don't like, and I don't support this concept of, yeah, it's 3rd and 7. Let's run a jet sweep to Puka and hope that we get 7 yards. What is the point of having what I thought early in the year, and still probably is, to be honest with you, a Heisman caliber talent at quarterback? He's not in the running, obviously, because of the season they've had, but I do think he's just as good as a Bryce Young. He's just as good as any of these other guys. What good is it to have a guy back there who can throw the deep ball, who can throw the back shoulder fade, who can throw any pass you need him to throw, if you're not going to ask him to pass the football? That's what my problem is with Aaron Roderick. And I would love to just see this program 1 week just come out and be like, you know what? We're gonna hand it off on first down, and then we're gonna hand it off until we feel like we can start running some play action.
Wow.
I would love to see that, but the problem is, and you know where I'm going with this, the problem is you're not running the football because you're rotating too much on the offensive line, so you don't have a group of 5 guys who are cohesive there. So it's this vicious cycle. That's what my problem is.
Yeah, and I think the offensive line rotations are not good. I mean, Connor Pace should be your center. And I understand that you're trying to develop Tukuafu, and it's just not the best way to go about it on the offensive line, in my opinion. So I would not be rotating guys. I'd be playing Pay and Harris every single snap, and
Suamataia on that right side. Play him.
But they tend to rotate guys, and I don't agree with it. But I'm an A-Rod guy. I am an A-Rod guy. Kurt Myers says, so who do the Cougars recruit for defensive coordinator? I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I don't know who that will be. We'll see. BYU, BYU isn't better than Liberty this year. Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
They are. The problem is that, like, you have the talent, you had the scheme, but you're not executing it on Saturdays. That's the problem. And I know you're going to say, hey, look at the scoreboard. Yeah, cool. Look at the scoreboard, right? But the scoreboard is no indication of how good BYU could actually be. And that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I'm being honest about where I'm at with these two guys, because I am happy that Lysa Tuiaki basically got demoted to a D-line coach. I think that's smart by Kalani and the way he handled it. But I don't love that Aaron Roderick was only able to put up, 14 points, I think it was?
Yeah.
That's not good enough. And regardless of, what happened against Arkansas, you had 35 points in that game. The offense, to me, in that game wasn't an issue. But then all of a sudden against Liberty, against a team, on paper who is not nearly the team Arkansas is, you couldn't scrape together 20 points.
2 nickels.
So that's why I'm saying, that's why I feel like with the offense, yeah, there is some rotational issues. Totally agree. But this is mostly a play calling / putting your guys in the best position to succeed issue. And that's why I said, hey, I'm 60% with Roderick, because I do think he's a good coordinator. I do think he develops talent. Totally. I think Isaac Rex has developed very nicely, really nicely. Hell, Jaron has developed nicely. Last year, Jaron is very different than this year's Jaron, right? Last year's Jaron probably is on the injured list done for the year right now, if I'm being honest. He is. This year's Jaron understands I can't do that. So clearly there's development happening. A-Rod's got that box checked. But as far as play calling and really developing an offense as a total package that works, that's where and why I'm only at the 60% mark.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Boyd says, I like A-Rod. He gets a little too cute with some of the play calls, but unlike Tuiaki, A-Rod responds week to week and also exploits the weakness he sees during the game. I would agree with that. I would agree. Richard McDonald says, BYU is not better than Liberty this year. Are we to beat them? Fair, but they're better than Liberty. BYU has been throwing to Nakua in stacked flat and have been getting calls for illegal receiver downfield. No, they've been getting calls for illegal man downfield. And the penalty the other day was blocking before the pass was thrown, which you cannot do. So I see what you're saying. Hib says, can we please talk about the Wisconsin volleyball league? Oh, geez. Did you see that story or no?
No. What happened?
I dare not get into this.
Is this some gnarly sexual story or something?
It is. It is the Wisconsin volleyball team. The women's volleyball team went topless in a picture.
No, God.
And it looked like somebody DM'd it to me. I can show it to you. I'm not showing it on the show. Somebody who DM'd that to me. There's a bunch of different pictures. I don't know. I'll have to find the DM, but essentially, it's out there. The Wisconsin women's volleyball team. It's like they were wearing sports bras and they pulled their sports bras up and the picture got out.
Stop.
So of course it got out. Stop. Are you? Oh, you are looking at it.
Yeah. Jesus, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing?
They're kids having fun.
I know they're kids having fun. I don't condemn them for that, but
who leaked it? That's what I want to know.
Dude.
Who leaked it? That's what it's not.
It's not good, man.
It is not good. It is not. If you want to see it, just Google search Wisconsin volleyball. I'm sure it'll come up. It is. How did you find it?
Twitter.
You found it. Of course you found it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah.
Richard McDonald says, so whatever you want, but everything other than the scoreboard at the end of the day is just paperwork. Okay. I don't disagree with that. Jeremy Bolton says, respect. Puka is their best player, so they're giving the ball to their best player. I don't disagree with that.
But hold on. But in all seriousness, though, you're really telling me that you're okay with calling a jet sweep when you're 7 yards from the first down on third down. You're okay with that because it's Puka? I'm not okay with that. I can see getting. You want to talk about getting Puka the ball? Let's get him the ball at the 4-yard line and give him and ask him to go 3 more yards. Let's not give him the ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and ask him to go 10.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
you
that,
can't
to
run
me, is
jet
an issue.
sweeps on 3rd and long.
Yeah,
I just think you're
that's
surrendering.
I don't disagree with the concept of getting your ball to your best players, but let's give them a realistic chance here.
Yeah, I like I said, I like Aaron Roderick a lot. I actually support him quite a bit. And again, I'll just play this one more time. And one of the reasons I support him is I think he's a maker of men. And when you say stuff like this, I think this shows you how he does it.
I want to make that clear. This game had nothing to do with scheme. This play had to do with our mindset and our ability to handle adversity.
Yeah, your mindset is why you can't handle adversity. If we're being totally honest. I think that's what it is. So the news is that, essentially Elisa Tuiaki has been demoted to D-line.
Yeah.
And Kalani Sitake talked about, doling out the responsibilities on defense.
As a defensive staff, we work together on game planning and everything. That's the entire staff with our analysts and GAs. We're all in there working hard and going through the film and talking scheme. I mean, I have a number of guys that are in that room that have been defensive coordinators before and have a lot of experience. And so it'd be really wise for me to listen to what they say, but at the end of the day, I'm coming up with the menu and deciding on the plays and deciding on the personnel. And when we do that, I'll call the plays on the game, and we just need to execute better. It's not about the plays or the calls. It's just about executing better.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just think when you look at what is going on with BYU right now, it's execution.
Yeah.
And again, I think you can't go too far without saying, hey, the players have some responsibility here as well.
Yeah, and I think the players have largely said that. And that's what I'm saying. It's just it's like a vicious cycle. That's the frustrating part. It's just a vicious cycle where, the coaches aren't getting the job done, which means the players probably aren't as prepared as they need to be, which then means that they miss tackles because their angles are wrong. And now we're back to the top, and now Tuiaki's a D-line coach, even though the D-line has been trashed this year. So I don't really have confidence in the D-line or him developing the D-line. And the other problem is the players know you're not playing for anything now. So you're really telling me you're going to get their absolute 100% the way you would if you were playing for a New Year's Six.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. San Diego State says the question isn't who leaked it, it's what was their price, money, money, money.
Facts.
Richard McDonald says, yikes, those are some spicy or some saucy picks.
I mean, I don't think anyone's
this
denying
is in
it.
reference to, but there are people who want those girls kicked out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, that to me is ridiculous. Yeah, I agree with the comment.
Now I got to Google search the story. I mean, you're not kicking these girls out of school for it, are you?
No. There's a video out there it's on Twitter at least, of them like twerking and having a bunch of fun in their locker room, and I do have to say this is why I think that people are not huge fans of behind the scenes stuff, and I am curious why would you leak this? Who leaked it? What was the price? And it's kind of what Draymond said, nothing stays in house anymore,
Yeah, I just, when you're talking about getting the police involved, Wisconsin.
For what though? They took a topless picture in their locker room. What? So let me get this right. So are we saying that someone was sexually assaulted? Are we saying that?
Well, it is not that far from that. That's the problem. It's not that far from that. when you talk about what, and these are, and I'm not going to show the pictures. And
we're not showing the pictures.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this this statement from Wisconsin. And I intentionally didn't talk about this today because I knew this is where this would go.
Okay, so what are people saying about? So how is this being treated as though it's close to sexual assault?
Because it is a violation of their rights. I mean, when you look at the fact that
leaking the picture.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Wisconsin says we are aware that private photos and a video of UW volleyball student athletes were never intended to be shared publicly. The unauthorized sharing is a significant and wrongful invasion of student-athlete privacy, including potential violations of university policy and criminal statutes. And it just, you can see there, it goes on and on and on. And the question is, what do you do about this? And the girls willingly took the photos. If you've seen them, they were all seemingly enjoying themselves. They were having fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would want to kick these girls out of school. I don't think that solves anybody's problems.
Well, it's what we do in our country. So, like, we just want to go right to, kick them out of school. That'll solve it. Instead of saying, well, actually, when you were in college, you probably did something that, you wouldn't have wanted publicized, right? Like, but this was publicized. And
I mean,
they're dude. They're kids, man. It's a topless picture. I get it. It's insensitive, but the fact is, it wasn't supposed to be leaked, and clearly it was for a cash payment. That's the only reason you would do this. I don't know why else you'd do it. Like, come on.
But Wisconsin volleyball hasn't lost since September to Minnesota, so they're very good. I don't know. I think this is just too far. I mean, I don't know.
There's no decency anymore. That's the problem. There's no
there's none whatsoever. There's none whatsoever.
There's how many ever are of them there are in the picture? Like 8 of them, and they're all topless, basically showing their tits. And you're in a place where like you're exposing them for what. For a cash payment. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand why we have to be in a place where we're in what Draymond did, totally wrong, but that doesn't excuse the fact that someone intentionally taped that and went out of their way to publicize it. Why is that a thing now? Why are we doing this now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And it's like, do people need money that bad?
But then again, I'm the guy who's told you 1,000 times, don't send nudes.
Right.
Don't send nudes.
But
you still do it.
But you've said that, but here's my point. The sending nudes thing, you are basically authorizing, you're putting yourself in that position, in my opinion. Like this with the volleyball players.
You took off your shirt and were knowingly photographed and videoed doing it. Mm-hmm. As a woman, when you expose your chest as a woman, you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You are creating sexual content. And I think you had to know this. This just goes all the way back to why do you put yourself in this position? For 50 years, a million years, that picture is going to be on Twitter now. And your kids are going to see it. Your boyfriends are going to see it. It just is what it is.
All the way around, dude.
There's no way around this. Yeah. Josh Lovern says in America, it's going to go two ways. They get kicked out or this team gets an NIL deal. That's exactly right.
100% true.
That's exactly right.
Spot on.
NY Monty fan says, man, I hate when I can't juggle work and listen to the show only to come back and not know what we're talking about. Have to listen to the podcast later. We're talking about Wisconsin women's volleyball.
Yeah.
Took some topless photos and a video, and they got leaked now.
Yeah.
And the police are involved, and they're talking about should there be punishment for the girls, and it's way too much. I don't think there
should be punishment for the girls, man.
I don't think so either. Richard McDonald says you can't be dumb and take pictures, public pictures, and then get upset when they get leaked, in my humble opinion. I think that's exactly right, Richard. You can't take these photos and then be like, oh, God, this is a violation of my rights. Where were your rights when you were taking the picture willingly?
Okay, here's the only thing I'll say on that. I agree with that 100%. I think the only thing you have to understand is locker room culture. You have to understand that
there's no such thing as locker room culture.
Well, I think there is. I think that locker rooms for teams are supposed to be private places. They are, and you're supposed to know when the media is in. Like, this is not something that would happen when your average Joe media member's in the locker room, obviously. So my point with that just is whoever did this knows them personally and had that trust level. You violated that trust.
Yep.
That's my point.
Snuka, what's up? Good to see you. Jeremy says, sup, Snuka. Salty Dog. James Knight, Salty Dog. Don't be naive, Jake. Every man and his dog has a phone, bro. Truth.
Yeah, but I don't understand. What am I being naive about? That's like...
as an American Fork alum, I hate that it says Lone Peak in the middle of the screen.
Well...
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. My bad. Let's see. San Diego State Aztec says, I got a fat finger yesterday and said racks instead of tax on Mrs. Monty's red chair. And here we are 1 day later, racks, and more Badger racks.
Yeah.
Jeremy Bolton says, wow, per ESPN, breaking a Russian court has upheld a 9-year prison sentence handed to Brittany Griner for drug possession, rejecting her appeal.
Damn.
Well... But I think as we said last week when she was walking into court again, handcuffed, this is not a surprise. It's not a surprise. And it's never a surprise when it's 50 past the hour that we do football 50, 10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. We bring you the biggest stories in football, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. Man, that is a tough story, obviously, with Brittany Griner. I don't mean to minimize that at all. At all, in any way, shape, or form. The NFL is investigating referees for getting autographs from Tampa Bay Buck receiver Mike Evans.
Yeah.
How big of a deal is this?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. In my opinion, it's a big deal. I understand that everybody's a fan of these guys, right? Guys like Mike Evans who play at his level and are stars in the NFL. I mean, I just don't think that's in dispute that he's a star in the NFL. I get why you want the autograph. The problem is you handle this, again, completely the wrong way. You can't try to get dude's autograph in the tunnel right after the game. That's not going to work. You are an official. You can't have bias. You're supposed to be calling the game based on the book, not based on the fact that Mike Evans might have extended that arm an inch too far, but you're going to let that go because you'd like an autograph after the game. That's the message you're sending, and I think it's you can't do that, man. It's a problem. They should be suspended and fined. They should.
Yeah,
100%.
By the way, now all of the Brittany Griner stuff is coming out on Twitter. I can't even imagine being in that situation. But yeah, I agree. You got to fire this official. And it's unfortunate because I think one of them's a 4-year man. The other one's been in the league 16 years. I think you got to fire him. It's really unfortunate, but you cannot be buddy-buddy with players off the field. It just does not work. The Colts have benched Matt Ryan this morning and will have no impact on your fantasy team, I hope. Because if Matt Ryan's your starting quarterback, you're screwed. What is wrong with the Colts? I do not understand. I mean, Sam Ehlinger's a hell of a quarterback, I'm sure. But this is Matt Ryan. Is this Matt Ryan or is this the Colts?
I think this is the Colts. I think that they haven't found a quarterback since Andrew Luck. I think that Andrew Luck was the guy. They were hoping that he was going to be the next Peyton Manning, and he was for a couple seasons. Then he retired. He retired, and I think it shocked the NFL world. And I think now they have gone through a carousel of guys. Everybody from Jacoby Brissett and, Carson Wentz, you've had all these guys come through, and it just doesn't work. And that's what I'm saying. The NFL is very much you have it or you don't. You either have a franchise guy or you don't. And I'll even use the Cardinals as an example. They have a guy. I don't think he's a franchise-level quarterback, but clearly they do, and they paid him, and that's who they're going with. The Colts need to find that guy and just commit to someone for a 4 or 5 year window.
Yeah, 9 touchdowns, 9 picks, 68% completion. Yeah. The biggest issue is that Jonathan Taylor's hurt. I mean, let's be honest about it. Probably done for the year after 5 carries.
Yeah.
That's their issue, and their offensive line is trash, too. But they're only a game out of the division. What are they, the AFC South? So I think that makes a lot of sense that you're trying to kickstart this team. But, man, that just sucks. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw there was a big trade yesterday. James Robinson is now a New York Jet. So Zachy Poo's got another weapon.
Yeah, and I think it's good for him. I think that Zach, has a lot of maturing and growth to do. But they're a good team. What is their record right now? Are they 6-win?
Who's that?
The Jets.
The Jets are 5, aren't they?
Are they 5? But they're a 5 or 6-win team. They're in a great place.
The New York Giants are 6-1, and they're going to the playoffs. Relax. The Jets are 5-2.
So the Jets are 5-2. They're still. They're obviously in good playoff position.
5-2. Zachy Poo.
Yeah, Zachy Poo. Right. Your mom's best friend. We get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flying high. Jets.
Poo and 2 rhyme.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
The Jets are not going to the playoffs. That's not going to happen. I think the Giants at 6-1 are a far better opportunity, and their division's way better. So.
Yeah.
By the way, you're 5-2 behind the 5-1 Buffalo Bills. Good luck. Good luck. You're done. How is the college football season got a month left, and the NFL season feels like it's just getting started?
Yeah.
Just barely, right?
Just barely.
And then there's a situation in Washington where the Commanders are taking signs from their fans because the sign said, "Sell the team." Should you be able to have signs that say "Sell the team"?
Yeah, you should. And I think that Daniel Snyder, that's how he operates. This is classic Daniel Snyder. Like, you want to control the narrative. You want to be Mr. Big Shot. Like, you want to be the face. But then you don't want people to complain that you should sell the team after all the cheerleader scandals, after everything that you've put the organization through. Like, it's not surprising. And, yes, you should be able to have a sign in a game that says sell the team.
Yep, totally agree. Steve Barnard says the Mike Evans thing is a huge news down here. Those refs know the rules. Yeah, they're in trouble. Absolutely. When would be a good time for an official to get an autograph? Never.
Yeah.
Or on a golf course. San Diego State Aztec says, Raider Nation says, thank you, Chicago Bears. So you're saying there's still a chance for the playoffs. Chicago Bears won a football game last night.
Yeah.
Justin Fields still sucks.
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus, dickhead, is our coach.
Eberfloss.
Jesse Hatch says, I don't know, Monty. Zach Milfson has that dog in him.
Yeah.
Zach Milfson has that dog in him.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's hope that while he's, what's the right way to say, dogging, he's also eating some Papa Murphy's Jacko Pizza.
911, what's your emergency?
Something is in my house.
I'm sorry, say again?
I smell something delicious and I don't know what it is.
Ma'am, can you describe it for me?
It smells like golden crust, freshly shredded cheese, and pepperoni.
Ma'am, we've traced the smell, and it's coming from inside your oven.
What do you mean?
It's a Papa Murphy's Jacko Pizza, and it's just $10.
Ah, amazing.
Papa Murphy's.
Oh, again, I say I'm going to miss those spots from the Jacko Pizza. Make sure you get it this weekend. It's the last weekend to get your Jacko Pizza. Use the promo code Monty25, MONTY, Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. It is 8 o'clock already. This show is just flying by today.
Yep.
We're presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. When you need an attorney, when you've been in an accident, you've been in Iraq, maybe you got hurt at work. Yeah, they also handle workman's comp at the Advocates. Make sure you find them online, UtahAdvocates.com. It's not your fault you got in an accident. It's not your fault people can't drive when it's wet or icy out. You know, this year there's a lot of accidents on the roadways. Make sure you protect yourself by getting to the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com, where you never pay a penny out of pocket. In fact, you don't pay anything until the Advocates win your case. UtahAdvocates.com. What do you like as what do you think is the biggest story in sports right now?
It's
got to be this.
I think nationally, it's probably, the stuff in Lakertown, the Yankees getting just shellacked.
Would you fire Aaron Boone?
No.
No, I wouldn't. I
wouldn't either.
Would you play Collin Sexton over Mike Conley? No, I wouldn't either. That's right. That's a really good point. That's a really good point, Jake, that you wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, if it was up to me, Mike Conley would have been in Dallas already.
But he's not. He's here. And so now the Utah Jazz have a bit of a conundrum at point guard. A lot of people are wondering why Mike Conley is playing instead of Collin Sexton. And I tell you, there's no reason to wonder. It's because Mike Conley's the better player. Mike Conley's the better point guard. Mike Conley's a better facilitator. That's why you play Mike Conley at point guard and you don't play Collin Sexton. I don't even think there's that much of a conversation around this. And I don't understand why fans are so hooked on, hey, should we play Mike Conley or should we be playing Collin Sexton because he's going to be here?
Right.
The question is, who's the best point guard? It's Mike Conley. So who should be playing? Mike Conley, because he's the best point guard.
Right.
I don't feel like this is that big of a conversation, yet it feels like, Jake, in Jazz country, this is one of the main things people want to talk about.
Well, yeah, because the messaging all summer has been tear the organization down, and I think a lot of people just assumed that they were going to go full rebuild on it, right? Like they were going to go full tank mode on it. And that, to me, is the reason you are asking why Mike Conley is starting over Collin Sexton. Now, I am someone who advocates for giving Sexton a lot of minutes. I think that Mike Conley, if you continue to play him on back-to-backs, is going to break down. We know that. And James, yes, water is wet, and Mike Conley will get hurt. I have no doubt about that. If he plays 75 games, feed me my crow sandwich. I'll die on that hill. But to me, I think Collin Sexton needs the minutes. He needs the development. You're not winning a championship this year. Mike Conley needs to be on a contending team that can actually use his services. That to me is my core belief, that I would not have paid, I think it's $22.5 million or whatever the number is for Mike Conley. I would not have done that. Instead of moving Bogey, I would have rather moved Conley, because at least with Bogey, I know, okay, yeah, I can put Bogey in the corner and I can, there's a purpose there. Anybody or their brother can bring the ball up the floor and get him into their offense.
But I disagree with that. I think Mike Conley, what Mike Conley is doing is Mike Conley is defending, Mike Conley is shooting, Mike Conley's distributing. I think Mike Conley's running the break. I think Mike Conley's healthy. He's here. Whether you want him here or not, it doesn't matter. Mike Conley is here, and as long as Mike is on this team and he's competing with Collin Sexton, Collin Sexton's a bench player right now, mainly because he doesn't fit at the 2, and that's Jordan Clarkson. Like, I don't understand this. This is the only rationale for this conversation is this tanking argument, which drives me crazy. I hate this tanking argument, and I, for one, am here to tell you, I think you're better off with Mike Conley on the floor because he's the better point guard.
Yeah, I'm not saying so. Okay, so the conversation isn't that Collin's better than Mike. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what is the appropriate move based on where the organization is at. And I do think, yeah, there is some credence to the concept that, hey, like, yeah, maybe, like, do you still have their box score up by chance?
I can get it for you.
Okay, when you get it, I want to look at their minutes and see how many minutes is Mike Conley actually playing? Is Mike Conley seeing 35 minutes, or is he more like 26, 27? Because if Will Hardy...
27 minutes.
27 minutes. Okay, and Collin Sexton had how many minutes?
Collin Sexton last night had 15 minutes.
So
it's almost 2-1.
Yeah. So you see kind of what I'm getting at here. Like, if Mike is going to play 26 to 28 minutes on a back-to-back the whole season, I guess that's great. I guess that's awesome. But I just don't believe that he can do that. I think that you have to rest this guy. You know that the soft tissue injury is coming. So I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of credence to, hey, we're not going to win a championship this year, and that's great that we have Mike Conley. That's awesome, and he is a productive player. I'm not sitting here saying Collin Sexton is better than Mike, but what I am saying is that I think Collin should see 20 minutes a night. That's what I think. I think 15 minutes is pretty light.
But I don't think in game situations where the game is on the line that Collin Sexton's an offensive option. I don't. I think when you look at who the weapons on this team are, and again, if you want to go to the box score, look at the guys who played the most minutes. Lauri Markkanen and Jared Vanderbilt last night played 31 and 32 minutes.
Right.
Malik Beasley was your leading guy off the bench. I actually think Fontecchio is the biggest story off the bench because he finally played 16 minutes, 13 points, 3 boards.
Yeah, he had a nice night.
Yeah, but he's young. He's going to commit fouls in this league. But that's the way you develop this team. It's not by playing Collin Sexton over Mike Conley. That to me doesn't make sense. But you said something I want you to explain. When you said you got to, where this team is, that's a huge question. So again, tell me where this team is.
Yeah, this team to me is in a place where you're trying to walk this path of rebuilding, but also you're walking this path of rebuilding, and also you're walking the path of trying to win games, and that's not easy to do. I think that you look at the Utah Jazz, and really I think if we expand this picture and you look at the NBA is largely a league of haves and have-nots. Like, the NBA is top-heavy, and there's only like 2 or 3 teams that can win a championship every year. If we ask that question now, those teams are what? The Warriors, the Bucks, the Celtics, maybe. Those are the 3 teams. I know the Nets are in there, somewhere, but I don't really love what we're seeing from Ben. But my point is, with where the Jazz are at, you're not in that group. You're not in the group of, hey, we're chasing a title. So where is this team at? To me, this team is not tanking, because if you were tanking, you would not have, made the trades you made and made the moves you made. You wouldn't have pulled the trigger on a Don to Cleveland deal for Lauri Markkanen if you were tanking. You would not have done that. Like, you would have gone the OKC route. You would have gone the Orlando route. You would have gone the route of a really bad team who just wants to chase Paolo Banchero, or in this case, Victor Wembanyama, right? Like, that's the route you would have taken. So to me, it's not about whether you're tanking or not. Your behavior says you are not tanking. But to me, when we talk about Conley and Sexton, the problem is that Conley's not going to be here when you win a championship. He's just simply not going to be part of that team. He's too old now, with all due respect. You've aged out of it, and they just didn't move you. And for whatever reason, and I'm starting to buy into this concept, they moved Bogdanovich because they didn't want to do a deal with the Lakers. That to me is becoming crystal clear, because if you did that move as a salary dump, but more so to spite the Lakers, that makes sense, because it was a salary dump. You didn't get value back. So when I look at this roster, I say, okay, you've got Mike, you've got JC, you've got Collin Sexton. You've got 3 guys here that can play the position. So great, you can try to win games, and that can be the goal, and that is the goal for Will Hardy and the people on the roster. But I don't the priority isn't winning ball games right now. The priority is developing people and being competitive. That's the priority to me. I don't think that. And it's such a gray area, and that's why I think this becomes an edgy discussion, because it's like, if you're saying, hey, my priority is not to win games, well, doesn't that mean you're tanking? Well, yeah, sure, on a surface level, but not exactly. The priority is not to win games. The priority is to develop talent that you then can leverage to win more games a season from now, or that you can trade.
I think winning games is your priority.
How?
Because
if
I
winning
think
games is the priority, you wouldn't have torn the team down.
Well, but I don't think you tore the team down. This is that conversation.
Yeah.
And you didn't tear this team down because you were like, well, you know what? I don't know what we're going to do. You tore this team down to get your financial house in order. That's why you did what you did. That's as far as I am concerned. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
I think you tore this team down to get your financial house in order. The Rudy Gobert contract was untenable.
Yeah.
You were never going to win paying that guy $40 million. It just wasn't going to happen. So we can sit here and fantasize about why the Utah Jazz tore this team apart. I know why they did it. They did not want to pay Rudy Gobert that money. I think they wanted to start from the ground up. And I think there was a breakdown in the relationship between Donovan Mitchell and Danny Ainge. That's the only thing that I can imagine. Because from what I understand, Danny Ainge and Don had philosophical differences. And so when you look at what their situation is now I don't think it's a matter of lose as much as you can lose. In fact, I know for a fact that's not what they're trying to do. So I think they're trying to put the best team with the best players they have right now on the floor every night. And I think you're seeing that that's why they're 3-1. And I think after tomorrow, they'll be 4-1. And I know that a lot of fans don't like that, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
You know, tanking is...
It's a philosophical discussion, and that's why there's no right answer. Like, I think that it must be frustrating as a Jazz fan to sit here and watch them make a charity donation to the Detroit Pistons for Bogdanovich.
Yes, it is.
And then have a conversation about Mike Conley. Because the Jordan Clarkson thing, I just think he's a perfect fit here. He's a great guy for this team. Like, you understand the Clarkson thing. But the Conley thing, I struggle with, one, because of the money, two, because he's not going to be here when you win a championship. He is of zero consequence to anything you have moving forward. Like, literally none. So I understand you're not tanking, and I understand you want to go out and be competitive. I get that. So, okay, if you want to say to me, we're going to start Mike for the first half of the year, and Colin's going to have to earn his way so that he learns how this works. Okay, I'm down with that 100%. I actually think that's great for players to do that to them. Make him earn his spot in this town. I get that. But, like, at some point, you're going to have to move on from Mike. And I don't know if they're thinking deadline or if that's just the end of the year.
Right.
But there's going to be this sort of transition you're going to have to make with this roster, obviously. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Was the conversation, like, this is what fascinates me. Was the conversation in the room, all right, yeah, we're going to ship Bogey out because we want to spite the Lakers. And by doing that, we're going to keep Conley and we'll just ride with Conley for this season and win as many games as we can. And we think that we can be a play-in team maybe, or maybe even an 8 seed type team, like that type of a higher end play-in team. That's what fascinates me. Like, we don't get insight into what the conversation was and what you're trying to do. That's why I think it's like, you know.
I think your actions always speak louder than your words, you know, like, yeah, Mike Maple says, is last night a good indicator for Fontecchio look like the new Joe Ingles? I think it is an indicator. I think it is because, remember, he's not your prototypical rookie or young guy. Like, he's somebody that you look at him, and I want to say he's like 26, excuse me. He's 26, 6'8", 200 pounds. He's not a guy that's going to, get much better than he is now. I mean, he's going to improve at this level, but he is a guy that what he can do. And I just think it's one of those deals where you got to get the best out of him as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Kurt Meyer says, let's bring in Westbrook and pay him a lot of money to ride the pine and tear the morale down.
Right.
Sounds like a good plan, Kurt. Kenai Johnson says Sexton needs to improve his game, but eventually come in and start in a starter's role. I think a year from now, Collin Sexton's your starting point guard.
Yeah.
I think right now he's just not. I think he's trying to get healthy, and I think he's trying to get back to 100%, and I think Mike Conley's just a better point guard right now. Jerem Tracy says, just tuning in now, is Sexton on a minutes restriction? He is not on a minutes restriction. I think he's on a getting beat by a better point guard restriction. Am I wrong that he is Collin Sexton not the better point guard, or is Mike Conley not the better point guard to Collin Sexton?
Yeah, but yeah, he is. But then this is kind of what I mean. I think we're having two different conversations. I don't really care if Mike Conley is the better point guard. That conversation comes into play when you're talking about like matchups in a game and actually like going to the playoffs and chasing a championship. Okay, then we can kind of talk about, all right, well, hey, this guy's better than that guy, and we need this matchup over that matchup, and you know what I mean? Like, that's when you start going down that path. To me, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but like, to me, I just don't think that, like, okay, start Mike Conley, sure. You start him every single night, fine. But don't play him 30 minutes and only play Collin 15 minutes. Like, play Collin 20 minutes, 20 to 23 minutes a night.
He's averaging 18 minutes a night.
Yeah, so like his workload is almost there. I agree with you. It needs to be said. He is working through the recovery phase still. No, he's not on a minutes restriction, but that doesn't mean that...
And he's not the defender that Mike is. I think we all have to remember that as well. I mean, I think we've already seen 2-3 times this year, like the illegal screen that Mike drew last night, the strip of Rudy Gobert, I mean, if you look at the defense that Mike Conley's bringing to the floor, that's a big part of the reason that the Jazz are in the games that they're in.
Yeah.
I mean, just on the whole, let's just call it what it is. It pisses people off that they're winning games.
Yeah.
And I But to the people who say this team should be tanking, okay, you get Victor Wembanyama. Now what? Now what? Help me understand what it is that happened or what greatness came over you that you're sitting here telling me now that, oh, well, we got Victor Wembanyama. All our problems are solved. Mm-hmm. The only way to solve all your problems is go to TryDayTrading.com/Monty. That's the only way that I see you're going to solve all your problems. Utah Jazz basketball talk on the Monty Show presented by TryDay Trading, TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Talking about solving problems, that's what TryDay Trading does. Live your dreams, man. Think about what you are dealing with in your life right now. How much of that is your job? How much of that is that you hate your job, that you're not making enough money, that you have too many bills, that the kids need XYZ sports equipment, that you're not sure what you're going to do for Christmas time? If that's the life you're living, if you're having trouble getting out of bed every day because you hate your job and you're tired of working those two jobs in a side hustle, if that's you, it's time to get to TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Watch the free webinar and understand that day trading is a prolific way of life. It is a prolific living for a lot of people, so much so that the IRS and the accounting sector have created tax shelters for day trading. There are actual tax programs out there that you can leverage to make your money go further, and it's a lot of money. And you'll learn that in the webinar. And that, by the way, the other thing that somebody said to me yesterday is, well, I don't know a thing about the stock market. Well, that's fine, because the guys at TryDay Trading do. They're a local company. They're in Lehigh. Ryan and the guys at TryDay Trading have been doing this for well over a decade now. They're going to teach you everything that you need to know to become one of the best day traders in the business, to take that expensive vacation, to drive that nice car, to move into that bigger house. You never want to worry about Christmas again, do you?
Nope.
Well, then do it. Get to TryDayTrading.com/Monty. All we're asking you to do is watch this free webinar. That's it. Then make a decision. This isn't for me. Nah, that sounds weird. Okay, great. You're out. Cool. Done. But what I think is going to happen is what most people go through. They watch the webinar and they're like, wow, I gotta get involved in this. I need to know more about TryDayTrading.com. So get it done. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show at TryDay Trading. Great partners on the show. We've been talking about them. This is their first full month on the show, and we really appreciate them supporting us. Again, I think you say it every day about supporting small business. That's what TryDay Trading is.
Well, and I think the thing is like they're not asking you to pay your own money, right? If you think about
it. That's right.
Like, they're not just saying, hey, come in and, try day trading with us. Like, that's why they made it the name, because they literally want you to come in, watch the webinar, and try their program. They want to teach you how to day trade on their money until you're comfortable using your money. And that's why I'm saying, like, you can go out and look for a ton of different side hustles. Like, let's not forget the story of this show, right? Like, I feel like, we get a lot of new listeners. We've picked up, like, I don't know what it's been, like, I think it was like 60 subs in the last, 4 days or whatever it's been. Like, a lot of new people are coming to the show. Our story is really simple. We had a 9-to-5. We made, 150 plus a year at that job. Like, it was an amazing job, right? But what we didn't have was time. We didn't have what we wanted, which was the time back. Our 9-10 hours a day, away from that desk back. So that's why we went and found TryDay Trading in Lehigh, because you can go there, watch the webinar, learn about it. Doesn't cost you anything, no commitments. Decide if it's for you. That's literally it. And I'm telling you, there are people right now from this show that I know for a fact have shared with us they've tried it, and they're doing it, and it's working. That's why you should at least go and check out the webinar. Yep.
TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Bodega Wi-Fi says, not a fan of soaking Sexton.
Well.
Okay. Tom Basilius says, Conley is the best point guard on the team. He'll get traded. Being a starter also increases your trade value.
That's fair.
That is fair. I don't. That's very fair. Yeah. Why was it ever a mystery that Ainge didn't want to send Bogey to L.A.? I'm older and still feel the animosity between Showtime and Boston. Ainge played in those epic battles. Never was going to happen, but he did trade Pat Bev there, right? And yeah, I think there's some credence in that. Absolutely. Tanking, Joshua says, isn't guaranteed to get Victor. You only have a 14% chance to have the first pick.
Yeah.
Which is, again, why I say, okay, well, let's fantasize, right? Okay, you lose every game possible. You're 0-82. You go to the draft. You get Victor Wembanyama. Now what?
Yeah.
Are you Markelle Fultz in the Sixers? Are you the revolving door of draft picks in Orlando?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? Right? You're not going to win a championship in Danny Ainge's regime.
That's not what we're about.
You're not. The timeline is so substantially longer to win a championship. There's just no way that that's going to happen. And Danny Ainge has said repeatedly, hey, I'm too old to go through that. And I agree. Sorry to wake you up over there.
Dude.
I agree that it is, he's too old for that. So it just is what it is. It is what it be. Was anyone surprised that Conley was playing in second game of back-to-back? I was not. If we get Wemby, we are still going to lose for 3 years after that at least. Yeah. At least. I mean, you just don't tank and win.
Yeah.
You just simply don't tank and win. Hey, a couple other stories that I want to get to. What do you make of this whole tanking thing in general? Is tanking bad for sports?
Yeah, I think it's bad for sports. I think that it sends the wrong message. Like, I think you have to punish teams for it, and I think that the NBA does some things, but not enough. I love this concept of either relegating teams and creating a structure for that, or incentivizing teams, to move up in the draft by winning in a tournament of, the best of the worst type deal. Like, I love those two concepts, and I think that, you just can't have a situation where you put your fans in a spot where they paid, $500 for, or $1,000 for floor seats, wherever they're getting floor seats, and LeBron doesn't play, or Kawhi doesn't play, or Steph happens to be on the injury report on any given night. Like, you can't have that. It's the Miami Heat when LeBron was there and Spoelstra didn't play Bron, Wade, or Bosh, and people were pissed. So yeah, I think that the NBA, obviously has some rules in place, but isn't doing enough yet.
Yeah, I think the tanking thing's got to stop in the NBA because I think it's terrible. By the way, did anybody see Minnesota last night? Now, I know, look, they have Rudy Gobert, and they're the greatest defensive team ever of all time in the history of defensive teams ever.
Well, any team that Rudy's on is going to win a championship, right?
They gave up 115 points to the San Antonio Spurs and lost. And again, what did I say yesterday in my infinite brilliance, wisdom, and beauty as a man chiseled like a rock of sex and greatness? Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert are struggling to play together.
That's right, Teague.
Karl-Anthony Towns, 39 minutes, 9 of 17 from the floor, 11 rebounds, 5 dimes, 27 points. Unbelievable
nice
performance.
Game.
Rudy Gobert, 31 minutes, 7 rebounds. I said 7. He had 20. He had 23 the other night. He had 7 rebounds and assists, 11 points. You're paying those guys $100 million
for that.
That's awkward in Minneapolis.
Yes.
I don't know what you do or how you fix it. They're losing at home, and they look awkward doing it, and they've lost to the Jazz and now the Spurs. And their only 2 wins are over the Thunder.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you do with that. Honest to goodness, I have no idea how you fix that.
People would come out and say, it doesn't matter if you're a rim protector. You're going to get dunked on inevitably. You're not going to make it inevitably. Like, that's just life in the league. If you want to go and be, a EuroLeague MVP, great. Go and do it, Rudy. Like, go and do it. But I love this notion, and this is why I think Danny absolutely fleeced them. I love the notion. Give us Rudy. We're going to have the Twin Towers. No one's getting to the rim. I got news for you. Everybody's getting to the rim. Everybody's going to screen and roll. Everyone's going to pull Rudy out of the paint. This isn't rocket science. Not hard to beat bigs in the league, right? It's just not hard to do. You're talking about the best athletes in the world. Will Rudy get his fair share of blocks? Yes, he will. Will Rudy get his fair share of yelling at dudes on the floor? Yes, he will.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're getting a championship when you're paying for one.
No, it doesn't. I think Minnesota's in real trouble. I think Minnesota's in real trouble. That's one you got to watch. Jesse Harsh says, Adam Silver said that the NBA is monitoring teams that actively try to tank. How do you monitor that? You don't.
You put out PR saying you monitor it, but
yeah, I don't see any way that you do that. The easiest way to stop tanking is to exclude teams from the following year's draft. But how do you prove they're tanking? How do you prove they're tanking? There's no way to prove they're tanking.
Yeah.
It's impossible. NY Monty fan says, I like that. Picks being forfeited. Interesting, but prove it. Ken Williams says, great show. You guys, peace out. Peace out. Have a blessed day, y'all.
Yeah, you too,
Hope you're good, Ken.
Appreciate you.
NY Monty fan says, Wemby is a project. Just getting him means nothing. He could not pan out. And if we tanked to get him, it was all for nothing. And most times they do.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, think about all the guys who were drafted number 1 overall the last 5 years and who's worked out. Because to this point, Paolo Banchero has been the only one that's really, truly worked out.
He's been excellent.
He's got the right body. 6'8". What is he, 240? 230?
310.
Guy's yoked.
And they're 0-4, by the way.
Yeah.
Orlando. They're tanking, right? Because they're 0-4. I think I would agree with you. I think Paolo Banchero is really good. Averaging 23 points a night.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not Donovan Mitchell good.
Yeah, Donnie.
Let's be honest about it.
And stuff.
That they're going to regret that trade. He's averaging 33 points a game.
That's my other problem with the Sexton thing, dude. It's my other problem, dude. You traded Donovan Mitchell for a bench player. You traded Donovan Mitchell for Lauri Markkanen. Dude,
33 points, 5 rebounds, 7 dimes, 2 steals a game. Come on, man.
Suckmyass.com.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Come on.
I try to stay calm and not curse.
You traded Donnie so that Donnie could average 33 points a game.
Man.
Like, are you for real, man? Are you
how, dude? Like, why? It's frustrating. You Donovan Mitchell, trading Donovan Mitchell was one of the dumbest things they did. Like, honestly. Dumb.
But when he averages, like, what are you going to give me when he averages 30 points a night?
I've given you your credit.
I want more than credit. Question. I want cash.
Call your wife.
Hey now.
Go and get it.
We're actually texting as we speak. She's on a phone call. Are you happy for Donovan Mitchell?
Yes, I am happy for him. Not his fault he got traded.
You're not.
It's not his fault he got traded. He wasn't the one who made the phone call.
Carlin LeFavor says, my question is, if we are trying to be a play-in team, why did we trade Don? I don't know why.
That's my point.
I don't know why.
Check him, Obama.
Why? I don't know why. I don't know why. It's still the most perplexing trade ever. This is not why. I have no idea why they traded Donovan Mitchell.
They're casual.
30 points a game. 30 points a game. And the guy's an absolute killer. And Donovan still won't get past the first round. Salty Drunk says, you are a salty drunk today.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. I don't understand it. The way that this league is panning out over the first week of the season is ridiculous to me. Like that you have like this game with Milwaukee, the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. This is a big moment in time for your Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, they need. That's what I've been saying. Like the chemistry and like the cohesiveness between them is already an issue. I mean, we're seeing that. Trying to figure out like how Ben Simmons is not going to foul out of every game since he's fouled out
every
2 out of 3.
Single game.
Yeah, like I mean, it just you have to be better than that, and I don't know if this is growing pains or what, but they got to get it figured out.
Yeah, I love the NBA. I love it. I love the way it's set up. I love that it's back. I love that you're seeing all of this playing out, and I love that Jabari Smith and Jalen Green got into a huge argument last night.
Hey guys.
I love that Kevin Porter Jr. is good. Like, I think there are storylines all over the NBA.
Yeah.
And I think it's remarkable. I do think the Jazz last night is one of the biggest stories in sports, thanks to our friends at Quick Quack Car Wash. Make sure you go there. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show at Quick Quack Car Wash. They're convenient. They're quick. I love that you're in and out of Quick Quack in like 5 minutes. Even when they're super busy, the line moves fast.
Yeah.
So I love that they actually put the correct amount of tire shine on your tire, automated. I love it. The whole thing is great. Get your membership at Quick Quack Car Wash. NY Monty fan says, I do think that relegation conversation is interesting, but talent level in the D League is not there to make it work. And Commissioner Silver yesterday said he was being tongue-in-cheek when he said that.
Well, I don't think you would do the G League. I don't think the G League would be part of that. I think the G League is its own developmental thing. I think the whole relegation thing would be, hey, so it applies to the whole league. So all 30 teams, the bottom 10 are relegated. And you have to play there for a season, right? So the buildings don't change, but you have this whole concept of, okay, yeah, maybe we're in the top 20 teams, but maybe we're not a postseason team. But we can certainly ruin someone else's night, right? One of these relegation teams. Like, I think if you do that, like, that's why the whole English Premier League thing is brilliant, because you have teams who have no chance of winning the title, but they're basically just playing for their spot in the league, which 9 times out of 10 is more compelling than, City winning it every year.
Right, but the problem is you don't have the depth of league in this country. Like, basketball is not that.
Yeah, what we do is we
game.
do one league. We do one league in every sport.
Yeah, but I could see relegation working in Major League Baseball. Yeah. Absolutely, I could see it working. The question is, if you put in a system of relegation, how does it alter the way the Lakers, Knicks, Bulls, Celtics, the big teams, how does it alter the way they spend money? Because ultimately, if you relegate a team, the biggest issue is you're going to kill them, their franchise value.
Right.
And, hey, look, if you're not going to win, maybe you deserve that. But your worst NBA team is probably still worth close to $1 billion.
Right.
So if you put them in a league below that, now you're probably cutting their value in half. So I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how that works. I would love to see it. I would love to see it in Major League Baseball because you have that. I'd love to see it in the NHL, I think, because you have that.
Yeah.
I just don't think you have it in basketball.
Yeah, well, I think we can create it. This is what I say about NFL helmets. Like, this is what I say about, like, anything. Like, if we can make rocket ships and go to space, I'm pretty sure we can come up with a relegation league.
Yeah, okay. The question is want. The rich old white guys that own NBA franchises don't want to do that.
I'm sure they don't.
They don't. Jesse Harsh says Donnie's numbers will go down as the season progresses. Still regret the trade. 30 points a night. I would love to see him average 30 points and 6, 7, 8 assists a night. Shoot 35% from 3. That'd be ridiculous. Perhaps Donovan Mitchell is a ball hog and players don't love playing with him. I don't think that's what it is. Tom Basile says, seems like Danny wanted a new core culture. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. All right, 8:36 here on the Monty Show. All right, so should we talk about World Pasta Day?
Yes.
So yesterday, my guy over here was grinding it out on some video editing.
Yeah.
So what did I do for you? What did me as your great creator do for you? I went and got you one of your favorite foods.
Yeah.
Which is not pasta, by the way.
Yes.
I went and got you burnt end macaroni and cheese.
All gas, no break.
From The Break here in West Valley.
Yeah.
And The Break is a great sports bar. I love it. Their food's amazing.
Yeah, go check it out. Honestly, it's bomb.
I got you burnt end macaroni and cheese. Was it good?
Yes, it was phenomenal, and it is pasta.
It is. No.
How is it not pasta? That's actual pasta they made it with.
God, are you listening to me? Did you come to the new studio with us, sir?
It's not fucking real.
So let me ask you something. So is Hamburger Helper pasta?
No.
Well, then what's the difference?
The difference is that the Breaks mac and cheese is made with real pasta noodle and real burnt end. Are
you telling me that
Hamburger Helper is not?
How do you know?
Because it comes out of a box.
What the fuck? Where does macaroni?
Like, Hamburger Helper comes out of a box, dude.
God,
Does Jake not know that
Like
all
hamburger,
pasta
that's not even real
comes out of a
meat coming
box?
out of that thing, man.
Does Jake know that macaroni and cheese comes out of a box? God, please gift him with the ability to see.
Dude,
Thank
you're
you,
such a
Lord.
casual on this.
What do you mean?
You are such a casual.
Does macaroni and cheese come in a box?
Yeah, but we're not talking about Kraft mac and cheese. Stop asking yes or no questions. That's not this conversation. Stop, dude.
Your Honor,
Stop.
I object.
Stop.
I object, Your Honor.
Yeah, I object that you're an idiot.
Yeah, dumbass. Does Hamburger Helper come in a box?
Yes.
Does mac and cheese come in a box?
Yes. That's not what we had yesterday.
Is Hamburger Helper pasta?
No.
Then neither is mac and cheese.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
The mac and cheese we had yesterday was.
Dude, you're going to get beat.
Well.
Today is World Pasta
Well,
Day.
we're looking for another executive producer for the show.
Today is, I'm not playing your stupid little childish
That's right,
games.
T.
I'm not falling into these traps as though I'm Ben Simmons. I am not doing it. I will not play your dumb little games.
Okay.
You and I both know mac and cheese is not pasta.
Yes.
No, it's no. No.
No.
Thank you. You know what I mean? How the hell do you call a hot dog a sandwich but say mac and
That's
cheese?
what I'm saying. What the hell?
Because by the definition,
dude,
a hot dog is a sandwich. Mac and cheese
Come on,
is
guy.
flour with macaroni powder in it.
Come on.
Cheese sauce powder in it. That's what it is. Now, if you want to tell me that you're going to make like real shells, because I also think this is a big thing. Shells are not macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is elbow noodles with real cheese sauce. That's macaroni and cheese. See how that works? You call it macaroni and cheese. So you need macaroni.
Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
And cheese. That's macaroni and cheese. Now, having said that, on World Pasta Day, properly done shells with cheese still is not macaroni and cheese. But I ain't kicking it out of bed if you're going to go with some macaroni pasta, some cheese sauce,
taco
and some
meat with Kraft mac and cheese is bomb.
Oh my God. Turkey meat and pasta. Oh.
Yeah, dude.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Tom Basilius says Stouffer's is better than Olive Garden.
Damn.
What? Stouffer's is not. You shut your mouth. Stouffer's is not better than Olive Garden. Are you serious right now? Everybody agrees with you. Mac and cheese is pasta. No, it's not. Boyd Lake says burn ends. Homer drool. Dude,
it was so good.
The break.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like we just had elbows out of a box from the break. Like it was the curly noodle, right? With a good, it felt like homemade cheese sauce.
I agree. What we had yesterday was pasta.
Yeah.
But your obsession, your vagina-like obsession with macaroni and cheese out of a box.
Ice, boom, pow.
And to you, it must be because you're obsessed with
dude.
like, oh, hey, can we get some Annie's cheese and pasta sauce?
Why would you not like that?
Hey, bro.
Like, why would you not like that?
Why don't
Hey,
Hey, Jake, you want to, hot chicks are around the corner. You want to go hang out with some hot chicks? No, hey, bro, I got a better idea.
Donnie, you're out of your element.
Better idea. Me, Jake. Why don't we, and I know it's crazy, why don't we go to Harmon's at the district and let's get some Velveeta macaroni and cheese in the box.
That's fucking interesting, man.
We'll go home and we'll play Modern Warfare 2.
Donnie, please.
It'll be a night of guys. Dude, bro, let's do this.
Yeah. I don't see an issue. What's the problem? What is it that you don't like about that plan?
The fact that you would pass on sex with hot women to have macaroni and cheese and play
It's the
Modern
fucking
Warfare
vernal
2.
equinox.
What? Tell me I'm wrong.
Mac and cheese, is
mac and cheese. Modern Warfare 2. Like you're in a bitter place chick-wise.
I'm fine. I'll be fine.
You're bitter.
Yeah,
it's
whatever.
fun. Jake's figuring out that being married's not all fun and sex.
It's really despicable.
Anyway, my point is,
It's ridiculous.
You would choose macaroni and cheese over just about anything.
Well,
What's your favorite food? Macaroni and cheese.
Well, how do you beat it? I mean, you can have it on its own.
And
You
the
can
only,
add taco
the only way you
turkey
beat
meat
it
to
is with a chicken burrito.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, jeez. Did you hear, by the way, there's a new list of 8 things that Chipotle doesn't want you to know?
Here we go.
Let me get this
It's
list
really
for
despicable.
you. Because you're also a huge Chipotle guy.
Yeah, but so are you.
Well, was.
How about that?
Was. Right?
So what, now you're not going to eat at Chipotle? You
I
passed it already. Go back up. You passed it.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Where is it? Here it is right here. Okay, here is an article from Eat This, Not That. 8 things or 6 things Chipotle doesn't want you to know. Number 1, the chain is prone to foodborne illness.
That's an issue.
Sorry. The chain is prone to foodborne illness.
Is this the dagger?
Number 2, Chipotle's portion sizes are shrinking to save money on the bottom line. Okay, cheap Fs. Number 3, it's easy to max out your fat intake ordering a burrito. It's got 77 grams of fat in it. Number 4, the company is paying workers more, and that's why their food cost is going up because they gave all of their workers a 4% raise. Oh, and then just as a topper, Jake, can you see that headline? Can you read what that says?
I can't see it. No, I don't think it's there. No.
Number 5 of the 6 things that Chipotle doesn't want you to know, Chipotle has struggled with a rat problem.
You're a douche.
They've struggled with a rat problem.
You are what you are.
And their biggest struggle is labor laws because they're not good at labor lawing. You know, once again, in New York City, this time violation of labor laws. Allegedly, the chain was adjusting workers' schedules at the last minute, demanding they cover back-to-back shifts, violating paid sick leave standards. Yeah, let's go to Chipotle for lunch.
Well, it's healthy.
I'm sorry, did you say they struggle with foodborne illness and fucking rats?
I'm screwed.
I wonder why you have foodborne illness when you have rats.
Damn.
You have a rat problem. Oh, well, this is in the sewer, right? No.
Marsupials.
It's marsupial. Marsupial. They struggle with foodborne illness and rats, friends, at Chipotle.
I personally would like an apology.
We're all going to die.
Yeah.
We're all going to die. We're all going to die.
No, we'll probably just go have a chicken bowl later.
You know. Let's see. Gumbylicious says, my local Mexican cuisine is far better than Chipotle. Elbow cough. Exactly right.
Come on.
Kurt Meyer says, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Rats. Exactly. Tanner says, Mont, I think they made the article just so you stop going to Chipotle because they're tired of you asking for the manager.
Well.
Thank you.
Well.
Tanner also says, I've only gone to Chipotle once in my life. I don't know why, but I have no desire to go there again. Good man. Good man. Good man. Gumbylicious says, macaroni and cheese pizza. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please. Fat Jesus, Jake, I normally don't side with you, but your dad is a bully.
Well, you know, that's life.
I mean, it could be. It could be. It absolutely could be. Okay, so it is World Pasta Day.
Yeah.
Sorry to wake you.
Yeah.
Your go-to pasta is what? If you say mac and cheese, I'm throwing something at you.
Fettuccine. Yep, fettuccine Alfredo all day.
Oh, that would have been awesome. You are a fettuccine guy.
Love fettuccine. Yeah, carbonara is pretty good, but I would say fettuccine first.
As far as pastas go,
rigatoni for sure. Just the pasta itself, big rigatoni guy. Love rigatoni.
I'm a penne guy, mastacholi.
Okay, it's penne.
Mastacholi.
Okay, where do you get mastacholi from?
It's mastacholi. Stop.
What?
Don't see why.
Why?
Okay,
why do you say stuff like
Let's
this?
recap. It's only a little foodborne illness. It's fine. My favorite food, chicken burrito.
It comes right up. Mastacholi versus penne.
Yeah, and it's mastacholi, you cock. There's no doubt it's mastacholi. What does it say?
Mastacholi, known in Italy as, quote, penne lisce, are a specialty of the Campania region in southern Italy, which includes the cities of Naples, Capri, and Sorrento.
Mm-hmm.
Penne are tube-shaped with angled ends cut to resemble a quill or a pen point. Unlike penne, which are rigid, mastacholi are smooth in texture.
Not ribbed for my pleasure.
No. Not ribbed for your pleasure.
Penne and mostaccioli are the exact same thing.
Right. No!
I grew up with my family calling it mostaccioli, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm going to make pasta, I want mostaccioli with meat sauce and mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella cheese. With,
We're getting somewhere.
I'm telling you now that I love mostaccioli, and I think it's my favorite. But here's a question.
Yeah.
It just went right. The little pockets of cheese pasta we
Tortellini.
bought. Tortellini.
Dude, tortellini from Costco is bomb, bro.
So
5 cheese tortellini, money. You get that water boiling, lower the heat once it's done boiling. Like once it's up to a boil, just lower that heat down a little bit, pour the pasta in. You got about 5 minutes and you're ready to go.
So the question becomes, what is your go-to? Like, is all because I could also make a case for ricotta cheese, to be on everything.
Yeah.
Of course, right?
Ricotta and
little
rigatoni.
mascarpone. I love ricotta cheese. Love it.
Yeah.
So is lasagna pasta?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lasagna is pasta.
Yeah, it's just a different shape. That's all.
But it's not. It's a casserole.
What?
Lasagna is a
casserole.
What are you looking
dude,
at me? Lasagna is not
it's
pasta.
Not a casserole.
Lasagna
dude.
is not. Lasagna
Jesus
is absolutely
Christ,
a casserole.
Dude.
Are you kidding me?
Is lasagna a casserole?
Yes, it is a casserole.
Pasta?
What are you talking about?
Lasagna is a baked pasta dish.
It is a casserole, you dummy.
Dude, come on, man.
Look up casserole. It is a casserole. What do you mean?
Dude, come on.
It is absolutely what's the definition of casserole? Look up the definition of casserole. Why are you being a jerk today?
Bro, how is this a casserole?
It is. What do you mean, how is this a casserole? What's the definition?
A kind of stew or side dish that is cooked slowly in an oven. Man, that's disappointing.
It's a...
God. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why can't it just be a pasta dish?
It's casserole.
Casserole has an Aunt Jane 95-year-old woman connotation.
It has a dirty connotation to it.
Yeah, it has
a rub and tug casserole.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It has Bob Kraft vibes.
Bobby
you know
Kraft style.
I want it.
Yeah.
I love it. I am a huge fan.
I haven't had homemade lasagna in years.
But if we're just going pastas, I think stuffed shells are amazing.
Bomb.
Ravioli's amazing. But I think if you can give me some good tortellini with ricotta cheese in it and some good red meat sauce with some parm on top. Oh.
Little bread on the side, just a little crostini.
A little Italian bread. Oh, it's so good.
What are the people saying?
Boyd Lake says lasagna is pasta. The wide noodle is in the lasagna. It doesn't.
But he's saying that it's a casserole. When
It
it's
is
done,
a casserole.
Dude. Man.
It is. Does ramen and hot sauce qualify for pasta? Gumbylicious. That's amazing. Gumbylicious is new to the show, I think. Tanner, the best you are going to get, and they already said, was the World Cup is starting. The World Cup is starting. It is. Put olive oil with water to boil, then put spaghetti noodles, then put in for 10 minutes and take noodles out and throw it against the cupboard door. If it sticks, the cupboard door, it's ready. Thank you, Sam J. We are all in on Wisconsin, Tanner. What do you...
Why are we talking about Wisconsin volleyball?
Don't know, man. Nah, it's fine. Alfredo is mac and cheese for adults. Well, I got to tell you that carbonara is amazing.
Bomb. But you got to do it right, because if you do it wrong, you get all this grease in the bottom.
Yeah, you got to go to the problem is we don't go to Italian restaurants anymore.
Yeah.
We go to fast food places like, hey man, Astro Burger's rolling out their once a week carbonara.
Oh, Astro Carbonara.
Listen, if a place like Astro Burger offers you carbonara, say no. Right? If Beto's offers you carbonara, say no.
Yeah.
It's just not how it works, friends. But my point is, I think there's absolutely lasagna is not pasta, it's a casserole.
Yeah.
But I am telling you, there's a right way and a wrong way. Salty Drink said, I thought you studs were off of meat. 99% we're off of meat. You know. Carlin Lefevre says, Beto's carbonara. Don't do it. Say no. Say no. Jeremy Severe says, it's a pasta casserole. Thank you.
Jeremy.
Kenai Johnson says, cup of noodles for lunch today. Only if you can make it on a smoker that you got from our guys at Barbecue Pit Stop. I mean, if you can do that, then we can have cup of noodles.
Yeah, cup of noodle on the smoker.
You know, you can also get a cast iron pan at Barbecue Pit Stop. You can make amazing, smoker lasagna. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Check them out online, bbqpitstop.com. We've said it 1,000 times, and we'll say it 1,000 more. Shop local, please. So when you buy your Traeger or your Big Green Egg or your Yoder, make sure you do it at a place like Barbecue Pit Stop, because all 5 locations are franchised. That means they're small entrepreneur businesses that are trying to serve the community, and nobody does it better than our friends at Barbecue Pit Stop. In Logan, Layton, Lehigh, St. George, and our good friends in Murray. They've got all the best equipment. Most of them now have butcher counters in there. The Logan store is simply put the best butcher counter I've ever seen in a barbecue store. But they have equipment, seasoning. Make sure you get online, chat with them. Say, hey, man, I need that asado seasoning Monty's been talking about for my ground turkey. Then ground turkey meatloaf.
Bomb.
I'm ready. I'm ready to eat, man. My God. We've got to find...
So here's the thing. It's cold out now. So eating warm stuff is super enjoyable.
Oh, it is. It is. It absolutely is. But go to Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com. Tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. We appreciate you guys supporting our sponsors. Kurt Meyer says, I hate to ruin this pasta gig, but it's hot chili day.
Oh, hell no.
Is it hot chili day, Jake? It's hot chili day?
Okay, let's see.
My wife makes the best chili. The best chili. Tanner says, man, I can go for some pasta right now. Do it. Do it, bro. New York Monty fan says, Tanner, are you doing drugs again? Wow.
No, it is not National Chili Day.
Okay,
National Chili Day is February 23rd.
Tanner Plummer says, well, I have pepperoni before I went to bed, so that's probably why I had that dream. What
dream?
What dream are we talking about, Tanner?
Please don't bring up soaking again. Don't.
Yeah, don't start. You've derailed the show like 3 times this week, Tanner. I said no, and he says, okay, ladies, throw him into a pit full of snakes and spiders. The lady grabs me and throws me into the pit. I woke up sweating like a pig.
Okay, a little anxiety there.
Wow.
And you two motherfuckers
need Jesus. There's no doubt about that. Kenai Johnson said it's time for a pot roast. Oh, my God. It's always time for pot roast.
Yes.
Are you letting your kids play Modern Warfare 2? Because you guys have seen these commercials for Modern Warfare 2, which I think is dumb. I loved Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 when it came out. Are you a guy that sits around and plays Modern Warfare 2?
No, I mean, if I had... So here's the thing. Not in current lifetimes, no, I'm not. I think, though, if this was available to me 10 years ago, let's say, when I was in high school or...
It was.
Or not to this level, though. Not like where you're in an open world and you're able to play on teams with all your friends and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's different now. Now it's like a thing. Now it's like a following where you can, like, there are people. It's like, you know, bowling league, except you're on Call of Duty, you know, and it turns into something that you can make money on and all this stuff. Like, it's different now. So, yeah, I would rather my kid be an e-gamer
I would agree with that.
than probably a football player. I'd say that.
I would agree with that. I would not buy you an Xbox if I could go back and do it all over again. I would not buy you an Xbox. I bought you. Yeah, I was, no. Nope, can't do it. I think that Modern Warfare 2 is terrible for kids. I think any of that first-person shooter stuff is terrible for kids. I just think no. Am I making too much of that?
Well, why?
I think it melts your brain. I think it creates false senses of confidence. I think it makes you angry. I think it makes you yell and curse. I think kids are too young for that.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's... I don't know. Gumbylicious says he'd take your Xbox. Tanner says, you missed the first part of that dream, Mont. LOL, I had a weird dream last night where I was walking into Vivint Arena. Okay. My bad.
Shouldn't take cocaine before bed, you know?
You shouldn't. I agree. Salty Drunk says, and that is why Tanner is the Monty Show nerd.
Well,
I agree. Tanner is the Monty Show nerd.
He is, but that's fine. Did you pass RSL yet on the train?
He did. He said he did already.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Kanai says, my son wants Modern Warfare 2 for Christmas, but I don't play games anymore. I don't think you should let them do that. I don't know, Kanai. I mean, that's an interesting question. I'll be interested to see if you get it for him. Like, are you...
It's definitely an interesting conundrum.
Yeah. I don't think I would. Mike P says, my kids don't even have smartphones. Good man. I think that's one of the things I wish I hadn't done is gotten you addicted so early. Like giving you a smartphone, like giving you Xbox, giving you PlayStation, like having all that stuff.
Right.
I think was a mistake.
Why?
Because I think it's made you electronically dependent.
Okay.
I do. I think it's made like if you look at the way you communicate, you specifically like when you date or when you everything for you is about a text message. You don't want to talk on the phone, none of that. And I think that's largely emblematic of your generation. So it is what it is. Gumbylicious says Battlefield better than Call of Duty, Jake.
I probably disagree with that.
Okay. Lopespan Gabe says Little Lope will be sticking to FIFA, Madden, and the show.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Kanai says I buy him sports games. I do. We played hockey last night.
Yeah.
NHL 2K or whatever.
For the first time in like a month.
Yeah, we haven't. That was actually a release.
Yeah.
It was a release, and then we flipped on the Rockets game.
Well, you mean the Jazz game?
The Jazz game and the Rockets, but the Rockets won.
Right.
Fat Jesus says, is Tanner your Screech? Okay. Lopes fan Gabe says Little Lope can also have a cell phone when he buys his own. Wow. Okay. That's fine. Kanai Johnson says, no, my wife don't like shooting games. Good. You married a good woman. Exactly right. I don't know. I'm trying not to be like that old guy, but I feel like it makes kids act out violence.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a certain sect, yeah. I think that, we've heard this from Grand Theft Auto people for years, like, oh, well, I drive in Grand Theft Auto, so I know how to drive in the real world.
Well, it changes. It's like pornography for kids. It changes the map in their brain.
Yeah.
And their expectations and all that stuff. So, Boyd Lake says acting out violence in the first-person shooter can be bad for kids.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Carlin says we need to find a way to get kids playing sports at parks. I never see that anymore. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. All right, There you go. So are we done arguing over mac and cheese?
Well, no. Are you done being an idiot?
I think most people agreed with me that mac and cheese out of a box is not pasta.
No, they agreed with me that it is.
No. Nobody agreed with you on anything.
Well,
other than Minnesota's in the East.
Right. Obviously.
And it had been several days since somebody brought that up, so I just thought
It'd keep the streak alive,
I thought I'd throw that out there.
No comment.
Okay, there you go. Thanks to all of our friends who support this show, including you. Hey, if you're here right now, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps the show grow. Give us a thumbs up, a like. If you are not subscribed, please, we're begging. We're over 7,600 now. Trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. Give us a like. Helps the channel grow. This show is presented by the Advocates. UtahAdvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. UtahAdvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.